Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day, good, whatever. Good, good, bad, bad, good. I don't know if you guys know where that's from. If one of you can tell me where that's from, that line that I just said, good, bad, good, bad. If you can tell me where that comes from, then you are absolutely amazing. This is Geaux Stros. We got game 2 coming up in just a moment. I got to jump over to the screen and see what's going on. What the heck is going on? Pretty sure. I'm going to close that. I got too many screens open. Too many tabs, rather. Not screens, just tabs. It's because I'm keeping tabs on you guys. Keeping tabs on you. I just need to adjust a couple of things on my screen, and then all will be well. All will be swell. There we go. I just want to pull up my live chat. It looks like I've got quite a few. Braden is blowing up the chat. Braden, welcome back. Good to have you back. DeLion, always good to see old buddies. And let's see if I've got, let me refresh the game again. The MLB TV player doesn't load up unless I'm actively in the screen. There we go. Now it's up. Now it's up. Who's up for the Mariners today? Logan Evans. Logan Evans is on the mound for the Submariners. And you guys know that there've been some pitching changes. Not today. McCullers is still scheduled to pitch. Oh, I need to change his picture on the screen. There we go. Boom. My picture for McCullers is too nice. He's like, "Hey everybody, would you like me to pitch a game for you today? I'd like to pitch a game for you today." His picture doesn't look as powerful as the other styles, but I really like the style of the one that I made for Hector Neris, so I think I'm gonna try to make one like that for McCullers right quick in the AI. Let's see here. Braden says, love the music. Thank you so much. I wrote that song myself and made it using AI music tools, and I did a little bit of editing and producing on my end, and that's what I came up with. So thank you so much. That song is called I Am, and it's what you would call a mantra song, where it's all positive. Everything in the song is, I'm strong, I'm whole, I am healthy, I am radiant, etc., etc. And it also says you are this, you are that, and then it says we are this, we are that. It's a really powerful song, so I really, really like it, and I like playing it at the beginning of the live stream because it just gets me kind of pumped up and feeling good for the Stros and for the game. Let me do the Astros lineup really quickly. Isaac Paredes is at third base leading it all, followed by Altuve, who's unfortunately in left field. Caratini's catching today, batting third. Wow. Cam Smith moved to the cleanup spot, fourth, batting fourth in right field. Christian Walker is at first base, batting fifth. Yainer Diaz batting sixth in the DH spot. And guess what? Chas McCormick is in center field today, batting seventh. Mauricio Dubon is at shortstop, and Bryce Matthews at second base, batting ninth. First pitch from Logan Evans to Isaac Paredes will be on the way in just a moment, and here it comes. Swing and a miss. 94 low and away. Strike one. Strike one. Come on, he socked that ball. Here comes the next pitch. Right in there. 89 mile per hour cutter. Strike two. 0-2 just like that. Just like that. To Paredes. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. He bounces that one to the left side. That's going to be an easy play. Easy play by the shortstop. Oh, Hoppy? That's not Oh Hoppy. Crawford. Why did I hear Oh Hoppy there? That's strange. Yes, that's right. Boo! Boo! Boo him. Jose Altuve comes to the plate. Had a really poor day yesterday. 3 strikeouts and a flyout. He's smiling at the plate right now. Maybe he's enjoying the boos. Here's the first pitch. Low and outside. Good take. 1 ball, no strikes to the Tuvester. Here comes the next pitch. He goes after this one low and outside. Fouls it out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's see here. Braden says, I think Nightbot is not here, or he said he would get Nightbot, not time to time me out. Oh, Braden, I did change some settings on Nightbot, so maybe it won't bother you today. Fingers crossed, right? Here's the next pitch low. Good take by Altuve. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's interesting that Logan Evans uses glasses that look like sunglasses, but they're actually glasses. Low again, ball 3. 3-1. Altuve trying to work the count here. Good patience so far, except for that one swing. That could have been a ball. Could have been a walk. 5-pitch walk, but we'll see. Here's a 3-1. Hey, base hit through the right side. Altuve pokes it through. Opposite field single. How about that? Starts today off with a single. We have a base runner with 1 out. All right. Oh, now it's deleted a bunch of your messages. What? I wonder what's causing it. Oh, it says perhaps less symbols. Okay, I see. You're putting in a lot of symbols. I see. Just outside. Man, that was a good 2 or 3 inches outside and called a strike against Victor Caratini. Here comes the next pitch to the Batman. Right through the right side. Altuve's easily going to be able to get over at third base. He's booking it around. The throw comes over for some reason, but they cut it off. Runners on the corners with 1 out. You know what that means? Batman emoji. Caratini ripping it right down the line there. Altuve didn't even have to slide in at third base. He came in standing up, and they threw it all the way over there. I guess the right fielder thought his arm was a lot better than he realized. Overconfident. 2 hits for the Astros in the first inning. And that brings up Cam Smith. 39 RBIs, 4th among all rookies this season, and number 1 on the Astros with runners in scoring position. A little outside, ball 1. Good call by the ump there. By the way, I am still fasting. I haven't eaten anything since the Astros lost yesterday. It's been 24 hours. No. 21 hours. Next pitch. 90 miles an hour cutter. Right at the bottom of the zone. 1-1. Come on, Cam. Crank it up. Here comes the pitch. He tries, swing and a miss, but that's low and outside for a swing and a miss. Yeah, I don't mind. Actually, I don't mind the emojis, but I have to play around with the settings because after you put in so many emojis, it starts to think that it's spam, and but the timeout is very short. I just want to let you know. Low and outside. Ball 2, 2-1. I'm sorry, 2-2, 2-2. Counts even. Just to let you know, Braden and everyone in the chat, if you get timed out on the symbols or the caps or something like that, it's a much shorter timeout than it was before. Low and outside, full count. All right. Looks like they're making Evans work a little bit. 15 pitches now. Runners on the corners. Astros have 2 more outs to work with here. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. 89-mile-per-hour cutter. How many people are listening in right now? 37 and only 9 likes. Like the video, people. Take just a moment if you can. If your hands are free and you're not driving, please like the live stream. Cam Smith takes a strike 3 right down the middle and then drops his bat as if he's going to get a walk. Not sure exactly what he was thinking there. Look at this. Right down the middle, and then he drops his bat like he's going to get a walk. Are you kidding me? Is it amateur hour? 2 outs. And Christian Walker comes to the plate. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Right now, Christian Walker is 0 for 14 in his last 14 at-bats. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. They throw down to third base. They were trying to pick Altuve off. The pitch was a strike. Cal Raleigh throws it over to third base, but Altuve was easily back. Third baseman wasn't even close. What's the point in that? Nobody's there. If the third baseman isn't even close, that's kind of dangerous. He could have thrown it out in left field. Swing and a miss by Christian Walker, the 86-mile-per-hour Swiffer on that outside edge. Wow, almost 40 people viewing right now or listening in and only 10 likes on the live stream. Hook me up if you don't mind. If you're an Astros fan, go right ahead. Low and outside. Wow, Victor Caratini gets his first stolen base of the year. He ran to second base and they didn't even try to throw him out. They are just focusing on Christian Walker. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on second and third. If Walker got a decent hit here, Astros could have 2 runs on the board. Come on, Walker, you can do it. I believe in you, baby. Outside, ball 3. Second 3-2 count of the inning. Yainer Diaz on deck. Is he going to get the bases loaded? Here it comes. Nope. Evans steps off the mound for a moment. He's back up on the rubber now. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Walker. Outside, ball 4. How about that? Way outside and in the dirt. Bases loaded for Yainer Diaz. Diaz has himself a grand slam early in the year. His career with bases loaded is .314. Right now, we don't need much just to get some runs on the board, and Raleigh and Evans are having a little discussion. His next pitch will be his 24th of the game. Yeah, Patrick, Diaz is pretty good at hitting opposite field. If he can put it in that gap out there, we can get at least 2 runs. Here comes the pitch. That's a strike at the bottom of the zone. 90-mile-per-hour cutter. Perfectly placed. Here comes the next pitch. Low and outside in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Even the Astros commentators are talking about Diaz's reputation for chasing those pitches. That was a Swiffer, low and outside. He didn't go after it, thankfully. Here's the 1-1 pitch. He flies it into center field. It's kind of deep, but it's easily playable. Out number 3. Astros get nothing in the first inning. Yiner flies out to center. 3 base runners left on, a walk and 2 hits. Astros get nothing. McCullers is jogging out to the mound. He'll be up in just a moment to face J.P. Crawford, Julio Rodriguez, and Cal Raleigh. First inning, big opportunities for the Astros. 2 hits, loaded bases with 1. Actually, we had 2 runners on with 1 out. And then we had bases loaded with 2 outs. Big opportunity. Didn't get anything. Yeah, and you're right, Crispy. Here we go again, getting men on base just to strand them. And Crispy says this is why we lose games. I'm not going to disagree with that at all, because if you actually look at the Astros' batting average in the league, they are in the top 2, basically, batting average in MLB. That's amazing, right? You'd think that that's amazing. But when you actually start looking at what they're doing with their batting average, how drastically their batting average goes down when they have runners on base in scoring position. You know, which team would you rather be? Would you rather be the team who has a really good batting average, or would you rather be the team that has a really good batting average when you have guys on base? I mean, I'd like to have both, and we could have both. I don't understand why we don't have both, but it has been a recurring problem for the Astros this year. It's just a fact, you know. Yeah, DeLion, I'm with you on that. DeLion says, I've been trying to be patient with Walker, but it's rough seeing him every day. And that's why recently I made a few comments about John Singleton, and people keep... I don't like extremists. I don't like people who are all the way to the left or all the way to the right. Or, you know, everything is black and white. But life is not black and white. And when it comes to Walker, it's the same thing. My patience with Walker is basically, the way I describe it is, my fingers are sore from crossing my fingers all season long waiting for him to do something. First pitch to Crawford is high for ball 1, 90 miles an hour. McCullers drops the ball. Paredes will grab it and throw it off the field. Here comes the next pitch to Crawford, the 1-0 delivery. Fouled off, strike 1, 1-1. But the reason I said the thing about the black and white thing is because when I mentioned John Singleton, everybody just blows up. Then they start talking about how bad Singleton is. Yes, but I'm not saying that John Singleton is an amazing player. That's not what I'm saying. I have never said that. Crawford hits the ball out into right field, but that's playable. Cam Smith puts it away for out number 1. Soft fly ball, went away. Julio Rodriguez comes to the plate. I know that John Singleton's defense is so-so, but I don't think that Walker's defense is great. I know it's not. Why? Because I watch the games. His defense is also so-so. Outside to Rodriguez, 1-0. But here's the thing. John Singleton actually has some thump. He has some power. He hits the ball. He's a lefty. Right on the outside edge for strike 1. The count is even, 1-1. And here's the thing. Recently, Since he's been back with the Space Cowboys in Houston, he's been really crushing the ball. Next pitch is out of the zone. Ball 2. 2-1 to Rodriguez. Yep, that's right. But guess what? Guess what Christian Walker's WAR is? His WAR rating. Fouled off. Strike 2. 2-2. I didn't know this until yesterday, guys, but Christian Walker's WAR is so low that it doesn't even register. It's negative. I'll just let that sit there. Here's the next pitch. This is hit out to right field pretty deep. It looks playable by Smith. He makes a great play in the corner. Really good catch by Cam Smith. It just kept going and going and going to the right, but he never kept his eye off of it and was able to briskly run over there and make a basket catch. Two away. 2 fly balls to right field. Just barely in the fair territory there. Cal Raleigh at the plate. Swing. No contact. Strike 1. Well, right now I wouldn't even say that the offense is the problem. Not lately. I mean, it has been for a while. But Patrick, I will say this. Recently, the problem has been our freaking relievers. A foul ball by Cal Raleigh there. The count is 0-2 with 2 outs. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Too far outside. Not a bad pitch. Change up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Walter pitched such a great game yesterday. Gave up just 1 freaking run, and then the relievers blew up the game. Goes straight up in the air on that foul ball. Caratini is back. Looks like he's got room. All right, he puts it away, out number 3. So big out there with Cal Raleigh going down on the foul ball. McCullers has 2 flyouts to right field and a foul out behind the plate. Good inning for McCullers, only about 11 pitches or so. Less than a dozen pitches for McCullers. Holy freaking cow. I think that's the shortest inning McCullers has ever had this entire season. 10 or 11 pitches. That's amazing. 12 pitches he had. Okay, 12 pitches in total, 8 strikes. That looks good to me. Astros come up in the top of the second. 2 hits, no runs. It's 0-0, but Chas McCormick, welcome back to the Astros. Let's hope we see the Chasmanian Devil. I haven't seen the Chasmanian Devil in a couple of years. Yeah, Patrick, you're right. Whenever they, I know this is a simple take, and when you've got a pitcher throwing it, close to 100 miles an hour, it's easier said than done. But I do have a simple take on hitting. If they want to be good hitters, instead of focusing on pulling the ball or hitting for the fences like some of them do. I think back to when I was in school and we would be taking fly ball practice or field practice. The coach would come up to the home, the infield, like right by home plate, and he would hit the ball out to different players to give them a chance to practice fielding the ball. So basically, they could look and see where they wanted to hit it. I want to hit it to center field, so they just hit it to center field or left field or right field or wherever. I think that a good hitter practices that. They can go out and they can look at the field, they can see where the gaps are, and then try to hit it there. I know it sounds oversimplified, but I know hitters that do this. Chas McCormick is at the plate, takes a swing on the very first pitch outside. Foul tip, strike 1. He only played 36 games this season. but his batting average is 256, and for those of you who don't know, that is a huge improvement from last year. Here's the pitch. A little half swing. He went too far. Strike two. The cutter. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside in the dirt. One ball and two strikes. DeLion says, I thought a gold glove would be a little better defensively, marginally better than John so far. Yes, you're absolutely right. I agree 100%. He pops it up over on the right side, looks playable by the first baseman, and he's got it for out number one. So Chas McCormick flies out, but it looks like he's getting the bat on the ball so much better than Walker just from his first at bat. Even his miss was a foul tip. Mauricio Dubon's birthday today. Dubon comes to the plate, batting eighth in the lineup. One away, nobody on. 30 pitches now for Evans. Here's a pitch. Isn't it funny? Check this out, guys. The 31st pitch of the game, was delivered to Dubon, and it's his 31st birthday. Isn't that funny? I think it's funny. Just barely on the outside edge for strike two. I'm sorry, strike one. 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. Fouled off. Strike two. 1-2. Well, you're accurate that our offense has pushed our pitching, but you can also look at it this way. The pitching is just good. They're just good, and that has given the offense, kind of some maybe too much comfort. I don't know, maybe too much comfort. It's given them a little ease. The count is even against Dubon. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Another full count for Logan Evans. But yes, you could definitely say that the Astros are heavily dependent upon their pitchers right now. Unfortunately, the relievers don't have to be perfect, but they have to do their job, and they haven't been doing their job recently. Fouled off. Count stays full. I'm telling you guys, go back and look. Yesterday's game was a perfect example. Our relievers are the reason why we lost that game, not because of the Astros bats. Fouled off again. That game should have gone into extra innings, 1-1. But instead, the Astros relievers just blew up the game. Our hitters, even if we'd scored 3 or 4 runs, we still would have lost. Here's the pitch. Pitch at the knees, and they call it a strike 3. He does a check swing, but the umpire liked the pitch, so that's strike 3. You take a look at it. You can be the judge. It's at the low part of the zone. Yeah, right across the knees. It didn't matter. Check swing or not, that's a strike, my friend. Bryce Matthews at the plate, batting 9th. He goes right up the middle. But Rodriguez is able to float back and get it on the very first pitch. Good solid swing and strike by Matthews. It's nice to see him not striking out for a change. But he lines out for out number 3. So 3 up and 3 down for the Astros in the top of the second. Nothing going on there. Big opportunity in the first that we missed. The good thing is that Evans' pitch count is going way up. He's almost at 40. He's only thrown 24 strikes out of 39 pitches. So he's having to work pretty hard. Astros should be able to light him up, I think. We'll get to him. We'll get to him. It'll happen. Ayush, you're right. Altuve is definitely somebody that looks where the holes are And he looks where the players are. He looks where the holes are. That's why sometimes he does the surprise bunt. They're just playing too far back and they're not thinking about it. So he lays that bunt down and he gets the infield hit. He goes opposite field sometimes. He pokes it out there. Sometimes he comes up to the plate aiming for the fences. He really is a thoughtful player. It's not always easy to tell what Altuve's trying to do. Sometimes it works out really well and he's a genius. And other times it's like, face palm. What are you doing? What are you thinking about? But you really have to take the good with the bad with Altuve, and you got to love him for it. God bless him for it. I would not change Altuve at all. People sometimes talk about, like when he gets into a cold streak or whatever and he's not doing as well, some people start to complain about how they wish that Altuve would change or do this differently or do that. But then he gets on fire and he just can't be stopped, and no matter what you throw, he's going to be able to hit it and put it wherever he wants. And then he's suddenly a genius, But you can't have it both ways. You got to accept him for who he is, and I accept him 100%. Altuve's my guy. That's why I've got my Altuve jersey right here. Randy Arozarena at the plate. The first pitch is in there for strike one from McCullers. I almost said McCormick. Chas McCormick on the mound. Can you imagine? Hey, might be a really good game. Low and outside, ball one. The count is even. Patrick, Chas going opposite field might not be a bad thing right now, Even if they play him over there, as long as he can get it past the infield, might be good for the Astros. Foul ball by Arozarena. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody on here in the bottom of the second. Yeah, Dubon does look pretty young, doesn't he? Arozarena hits that out to center field. McCormick gets to it and plays it on a hop. Arozarena's going for 2. He's going to have to stop. They're going to throw it over to first base. He's safe. Very close there. They're looking to see if they want to challenge it. Yeah, they're going to challenge it. Arozarena burned around first base because he thought he'd have a double. And he had to put on the brakes like halfway to second. Dubon didn't realize that Arozarena was not heading to second. He hesitated for a second. Looks like they got him. What I don't understand, though, why didn't Christian Walker keep his glove on him when he slid past the bag? He did come off the bag right there. Unless he just knew that he got it. But still, you can't assume that the umpire is going to see that. Should have kept the glove on him. A professional infielder knows you keep the glove on the runner while he's sliding past the bag. Yep. Overturned. He's out. Yeah, Arozarena had already gone down into the dugout. He knew he was out. He didn't even stay on the base. Chas did such a good job of getting the ball in really quick. Yeah, nice angle there. Good play by Chas. Good play by Dubon getting the ball over, although it was a little slow at first. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Outside to Jorge Polanco. Here's the next pitch. Outside again. Ball 2. 2-0. Yeah, Patrick, you're right. We have to score more than 1 run. But, again, yesterday's game was lost because of the relievers, not because of the Astros bats. That's true. It's just true. It's not an opinion. That's just fact. Look at the score. It was through 6 innings. The Astros were down by 1 run. After that, the Astros got blown up. Every reliever that came in gave up at least 1 run. Every single reliever. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Here's the pitch. Grounded down the first base side foul, and that's going to be a full count. Hey, old dog, welcome back. Good to see yous. Astros would have been better off losing a game in the Dodgers series. Maybe then we wouldn't be so overconfident. Look at our record since that series. Sometimes a loss is a good wake-up call. Well, we've lost many. I think we've had plenty of time to be woken up. I don't think that a loss to the Dodgers series would have helped at all. I see what you're saying, but that's going to be a walk by McCullers. He puts a guy on. That's his first walk of the game. A full count walk to Polanco. Polanco is the DH, batting .256 for the season. Luke Raleigh comes to the plate. First pitch on the way from McCullers, and just a little low outside, but the umpire liked it, so that's strike one. Here comes the pitch. A little out of the zone, ball one. The count is even. We have a runner on first with one out. Raleigh at the plate, 1-1 is the count. .223 hitter for the season. Here comes the pitch. Below the zone, maybe by an inch. 2 balls, 1 strike. Yeah, Ayush, I see what you're saying. Sometimes, a pitch 3 feet off the plate, but once again, it just goes back to my point. What about the times he has hit the pitch 3 feet off the plate, and it's been a big deal, So once again, it's kind of like saying I can't stand it when Altuve swings at a pitch that's way off the plate or way high or in the dirt. But at the same time, I love it when Altuve swings at a pitch way off the plate or way high or in the dirt. Is that another walk? 3-1 pitch by McCullers, and he walks again. So a 5-pitch walk. 2 walks in a row for McCullers. Suddenly not looking too good. McCullers getting back to his true form. And true anime style, McCullers reveals his true form. Back-to-back walks. He's now up to 27 pitches. With Dominic Canzone batting .319, the 7th batter in the lineup. Lefty, here comes the pitch. Ball, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Take a look at that. That's right in there. It's right on the edge, on the inside. That's a strike. 1-0. The umpire's not helping out McCullers. He's throwing enough balls by himself. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike on the slider. Old dog says, get someone up in the bullpen. Might be thinking about it after this batter, depending on what happens. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, his 30th of the game. Nice pitch. That had a lot of movement on it. That was a good-looking knuckle curve. Fouled off for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yush, about we never pitch McCullers at home. Yeah, you're aware of his record, right? At home and on the road. Fouled off at the plate. The count stays 1-2 on Dominic Canzone. Or is it Canzone? I think it's Canzone. I want to say Calzone. Calzone. I wonder if you crack him open, is there like pepperoni and cheese and stuff inside? Who knows? Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Whoa, did he hit him? It looks like he didn't even really try to get out of the way. He hit him on the arm. Bases are loaded. Single thrown out at first. Walk, hit by pitch. We have bases loaded with 1 out. Yeah, you're right, Ayush. But you know what? If he doesn't get out of this jam right here, he hit him right on the elbow there, right on the forearm. Josh Miller comes out to the mound to have a little chitty chat. He's like, McCullers, we're on the road. You can't be giving up runs on the road. At home, that's okay. We gotta Silence our crowd. We don't want our crowd going crazy. Maybe that's the strategy that they have with McCullers. If he pitches really well on the road and he pitches terribly at home, then he controls the crowd in both situations. Neither crowd gets a chance to cheer and go crazy. I'm sure that's the reason why. Ben Williamson is at the plate with bases loaded. Wow, this umpire is not helping McCullers at all. That was in the top of the zone for strike one, but he called it a ball. That's in the strike zone. That's like 3 just this inning. In the strike zone. That's dead center almost. Strike one, 1-1. This umpire, it's like he's forcing him to throw it right in the middle of the zone. Yeah, we need a double play. Fouled opposite field down the first base side. It's 1-2. Lance McCullers, in his 10 starts this year, has only gotten 1 double play. It'd be nice to get another one. He's due. Tapped foul behind the plate. The count remains 1-2. Guys, I see we've got 63 people listening in or following along on the live stream. If you are able to do so, please hit that like button. Only 21 likes. I think that's the lowest I've seen in a very long time. It's bottom of the second. We should be way up there by now. So I appreciate you clicking that like button. Here is the 1-2 pitch from McCullers. In the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases are loaded with 1 out. Yeah, Ayush, I'm not particularly impressed with this umpire. Right now he's got a 65% rating from me. He's barely passing. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. This is so if we want to win, we absolutely have to score more than 1 run. Of course we do. If we score 1, we'll just tie it. We've got to score more than 1 run, obviously. In the bottom of the zone for strike 1 against J.P. Crawford. Crawford at the plate with bases loaded and 2 outs. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the next pitch from McCullers. Low and inside. Ball 1, 1-1. What is McCullers doing? He's just doing McCullers things. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Crawford. Well, Jay, it's not a meltdown yet. It's not a meltdown yet. He's given up 1 run. If he gets out of this, it's not a meltdown. Here comes a 1-2 pitch, to Crawford. High and outside, ball 2. Why did you go with the slider? You should have used that knuckle curve. That knuckle curve's looking really, really nice. You guys are pulling the trigger way too early. Can't pull him out right here. Here's the pitch. Whoa, look at that. How inconsistent is that? That umpire has been calling that pitch a ball this whole time. And on 2 balls and 2 strikes, McCullers puts it on that outside edge again. And he gets the call. Strike 3. He's out of the inning. 1-0 the Mariners. This umpire giveth and this umpire taketh away. Man, you could see J.P. Crawford jumping up and down. He was really, really not happy about that call. Welcome to the club, pal. You're not the only one who is dissatisfied with this umpire's calls. But I'm glad to see that he finally gives one back to McCullers after taking away so many. He gives the strike 3 call to McCullers, and that ends the inning. The Mariners only had 1 hit, but even that hit didn't matter because Rodriguez came way off the bag and he was thrown out at first base. So that hit, even though it was officially a hit, it was turned into an out. We didn't have any base runners with 1 out. After that, walk, hit by pitch, infield hit to the pitcher, run scores, and then another walk, bases loaded again, and then he gets the strikeout. The inning was not pretty. It was pretty dirty. It was a dirty inning. But after all of that, he only gave up 1 run. So kudos to McCullers for buckling down and not falling apart. Okay, he did not have a meltdown. He did not fall apart. So everybody who jumped the gun on that one, congratulations, you were incorrect. I'm not saying that the 3rd inning will be great, but more than likely it will be better than the 2nd. That's my feeling. Isaac Paredes is at the plate. The Astros top of the order. Here we go. First pitch right in there. 82 miles an hour, strike 1. Where's Cal batting? In Seattle. I'm just being silly. I think he's batting 3rd in the lineup. If that's what you mean, batting order. Yeah, Cal Raleigh is batting 3rd. Fouled off by, oh, I'm sorry, ball. That's hit really. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Astros and the Orioles tied for most injuries in the MLB. Paredes is coming out of the game. Zach Short is coming in to run for Paredes. And they're showing Jordan watching from the side there. Man. All right, Short on first base. Let's hope Paredes is all right. Altuve at the plate. Here comes the first pitch. Altuve goes after it, fouls it off into the crowd. 88 mile per hour cutter. Nice swipe by Altuve. Altuve 1 for 1 today with a single. Now we have a runner on first base here in the top of the 3rd, a leadoff runner. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch from Evans. A little low. Good take. 1-1 is the count. Yeah, Fred, the way he suddenly started running, I'm not sure if it's hamstring or not. It looked like he might have landed wrong on his ankle or something. Here's the pitch. Little check swing on the outside. They say he did not go, so that's ball 2. 2-1. Yeah, the Astros, think about how amazing the Astros would be doing right now this season if not for the injuries. It's amazing. Outside, good take. Again, 3 balls and 1 strike. Altuve very patient. He's only swung at 1 high pitch just above the zone. He bounces this one down the 3rd baseline. I thought I spilled some of my coffee on myself. This coffee is not hot. Full count. Here's the pitch. Foul tip, middle, and the bottom of the zone. How about that? 1-1. Oh, that's 5 hits now for the Astros, not 4. 5 hits already. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Christian Walker with a chance to break his cold streak. Cam just broke his. Let's see if Walker can break his cold streak now. He hits it hard to center field. Is it gonna? No, it's not gonna be deep enough. Caratini can't tag. Runners stay on first and second. Man, he went after that first pitch too, just like Cam, and he drove it out there, but right to the center fielder. Yes, we need to get some justice. Crispy, that's right. We need to get some justice for Paredes' injury. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate. Will Yainer give him a shiner? That's the question. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off at the plate. Yeah, Fred, his WAR is already negative, and it just keeps going down. If you look it up, it doesn't even register. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled off. 0-2 is the count to Mr. Yainer Diaz. And I need myself some really hot coffee. I'm going to wait until this inning is over, and then I'll make myself some more. You guys are wonderful to be here and endure this struggle. Yainer goes after the outside Swiffer. So Yainer goes chasing. He goes fishing just like he has a tendency to do sometimes. And that's going to be it. The Astros do manage to get 1 run. So 5 hits for the Stros, 1 for the Mariners, and it's a 1-1 game. Thanks to McCullers' many walks and hit batters, Mariners are able to score a little more easily. They don't actually have to hit the ball. They just have to not swing the bat. We go into the bottom of the third, tied up at 1. Yeah, Raj, the Astros have only had 1 lead this week during the week. That was the only game in the home stand. The Astros won, and then even then they almost lost. Yeah, that was a close game. Hey, Cousin Brian, welcome back. I think you were here before. Yeah, I think you were here yesterday. Thank you for being here. Is there not a Mariners play-by-play caller? I would assume there is, but there are some MLB teams besides the Astros that didn't have any live play-by-play guys on YouTube. I'm the only one who does the live play-by-play for the Astros in English. There is a lady who does the live stream play-by-play in Spanish. Let me go grab my hot water. I'll be right back, guys and gals. Oh my goodness gracious. McCullers just finished taking his last warm-up toss. It looks like Zach Short is going to be at short. They had to shuffle things around a little bit. I didn't see, but I'm guessing that Dubon is on third base. The first batter is J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. Here's the first pitch from McCullers. Right on the inside edge, strike 1. Good toss. Yeah, and that's a good point. McCullers did have a chance to rest during that inning. That's one good thing. This is hit up the middle. It's kind of shallow. It's going to drop. Nobody's going to be able to get to it. McCormick grabs it and tosses it in, but that's a single for Rodriguez. Runner on. Leadoff runner is on base for the Mariners. That's the second hit given up by McCullers. Giving up hits hasn't been the issue in this game for McCullers. It's been walks and hit by pitch. Control again. Control, my friend. Here comes the pitch to the next batter. Next batter is Cal Raleigh. Takes that pitch outside for ball one. Raleigh fouled out behind the plate earlier. 52 pitches now for McCullers. Here comes the 53rd. Ooh, just a little outside. Ball two. They keep talking about Cal Raleigh being the first catcher to ever win the home run derby. I don't think that it's that big of a deal. He lines the next pitch foul down the first baseline. 2 balls and 1 strike to Raleigh. Rodriguez on first base, no outs. Crowd seems to be a little lively at the moment, but I think it's because they're playing music. Here comes the next pitch from McCullers, the 2-1. A little delay there. Swing and a miss. What a beautiful pitch. Once again, guys, I'm telling you, that knuckle curve is looking darn wicked today. Big hack by Raleigh. He tried to launch on that one, and he got absolutely nothing but air. I think that pitch was a good 3 or 4 inches under his bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Throw that knuckle curve again, man. Come on. It's beautiful. Here comes the pitch. Low and inside. He did throw the knuckle curve again, but that one was not competitive. It started off inside, so it ended way too far inside and low. Come on, McCullers. Full count. Runner on first, no outs. Here's the pitch to Raleigh. This is hit high in the air, going to be playable. Bryce Matthews is under it. Now Cam Smith comes in from right field, waves him off. So the new guy waves off the newer guy. Astros minor league infield right now. Minor league fielders. Cam Smith, Bryce Matthews, and Zach Short. They're showing the highlights there from the out earlier. First pitch to Arozarena is a little far inside for ball one. 1 out right now with Rodriguez on first base. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Right in there. 90-mile-per-hour fastball up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two more likes to get to 30. Hogan is able to get to third. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Polanco with a full count single to center field. Yeah, Fred, I hope that McCullers does steady the ship. That would be nice. Cousin Brian, I don't know what listening to opponents' broadcasts can do for you to learn about other teams. There's no way that I would listen to other broadcasts. I would definitely listen to the Astros broadcast if they had one. I don't see any reason to listen to other teams' broadcasts. Too far inside for ball 1 to Luke Raleigh. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Low and inside. Ball 2. That one was in the dirt. Good stop by Caratini there. Jordan says the Astros will say Paredes sprained his toe or bruised his heel 2 months later. Yeah, they'll say he got a bobo. Too far inside. Ball 3. 3 straight balls. Man, are we going to have bases loaded again? Are you kidding me? This will be the 3rd time in less than 2 innings. Woo, man, just barely got the call there. McCullers lucky. He painted the lower outside corner, one that the umpire frequently calls a ball. But it's strike 1. 3-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off. Now we have a full count. Is this going to be like opposite McCullers, where he has 3 balls and no strikes, and he comes back to get the strikeout instead of having no balls and 2 strikes, and he comes back to walk him? Let's see. Here comes a full count pitch. Get that strikeout, baby. Come on, McCullers. Get that strikeout. I believe in you. Here comes the pitch. Grounded through the hole. That's going to be a base hit and score another run. All right. 2-1. Mariners back on top, but in this inning, they're actually hitting the ball. Unlike last inning, they were getting hit by the ball. Right through the gap on the right side. Even though they were playing there, it was just in the perfect spot. Now we have runners on the corners with 2 outs. How many pitches now for McCullers? 72. 72. Canzone comes to the plate. Here's the first pitch to the lefty. Right in there. Strike 1. Old dog, I'm with you on that. Rosarina. I think the same thing. Fried Oakert in the bullpen. A little thrower to first base, but runner's back. It would be nice to get 6 innings, but that's not going to happen today, my friend. That's going to be impossible. Tim, there's no way. Because he's already at 73 pitches, and we're not even out of the 3rd inning yet. There's just no way. Low and outside in the dirt. 1-1. We'll be lucky to get him through 5. Really lucky. Really, really lucky to get McCullers through 5 innings. But I just don't. I don't see that, but it could happen. He throws over to first again. Riley goes back. That's his 2nd disengagement, so he can steal now. I don't understand why McCullers is one of our rotation guys, to be honest. This is hit to left field. Altuve back. It's off the wall. That's going to score more runs. Probably 2. Yeah, RBI double for Canzone. Mariners are up 4-1. Double off the wall by Canzone. The middle of the batting order, shutting McCullers down, and he's going to be coming out. Espada's on his way to the mound. He's going to be pulled in the 3rd inning. Another short start for McCullers, but the good thing is they're putting a short leash on him. They're not letting him get 10 runs on the board, right? I mean, right now we got 1 runner on with 2 outs. Now, I will say this. If this were earlier in the year and McCullers had only started a couple of games and he was in this position with 2 outs and 1 runner on second, I would leave him in to let him work it out. But it's nice to see that Espada is recognized he's not in a position to have that luxury right now, right? He's not in a position to get himself out of the inning. He's done. 5 hits for the Astros, 5 hits for the Mariners, but the Mariners, much better efficiency. 4 runs on the board versus the Astros, 1 run. Well, the Astros are definitely capable. Crispy, the Astros are definitely capable of scoring 4 more runs to win. But we don't need 3 more runs to win. We need 4. At least 4 to win, not 3. 3 will tie the game. But we need at least 4 to win. We need at least 3 to tie it and create a chance to win. But we need at least 4 runs to win the game. And do the Astros have the ability to do it? Yes, of course they do. Of course they do. Now, is there a high probability that they will based on statistics? No, not based on statistics. But do they have the ability to do it? For sure. Absolutely. Stephen Okert is now on the mound, replaces Lance McCullers. Let's hope we have a better result here. Runner on second with 2 outs. He's facing Ben Williamson. Grounded down the third baseline for strike 1. I don't know why I have to keep reminding everybody this, but I'm going to say it again. The Astros have several guys that are going to be back, and some of them will be back soon. We'll have a better lineup in the future than we have right now, so relax. This is not our playoff team. Here's the pitch. No, he comes off the mound. Fakes a throw at second base. Everyone needs to remember that. The team that you're seeing on the field right now is not our playoff team. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again. 0-2. So even for those of you listening out there, wherever you're at, do not despair about what's going on with the Astros right now. We have several guys that are out, and they will be back. Here's the pitch. 0-2. Little low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ayush, I'm not even going to look at your comments anymore because you're like 99% negative anyway. I'm going to stop reading your comments again. I try to engage with you sometimes because you keep coming back. But if 99% of what you say is just negative, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, how do we know that? How do we know this? How do we know anything? This is baseball. How do we know anything? How do we know the Astros are going to win even 20 games in the second half of the season? How do we know they're not going to get to 100 wins? How do we know that? We don't know. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But I will tell you this, it's a complete waste of your life and my life to look at everything so negatively. It doesn't matter what happens in this game. What matters is how they and how we view it, and how we feel about it, and how we respond to it. That's what matters. Check swing, he does not go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Okert trying to get this last out. 6 pitches now delivered to Ben Williamson. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on second. Here comes the 2-2. Grounded down the first base side, foul. The count remains 2-2. If it's hard to sit back and watch the Astros when they're losing, that has nothing to do with the Astros. That has everything to do with you. Whether the Astros win or lose, it should always be easy to just sit back, enjoy the game, relax, and enjoy your life. Don't allow it to bother you so deeply. Don't allow it to bother you at all. It's just the way baseball is. 2-2. On the way again. Here it comes. Fouled off of the mask of Caratini there. Count remains 2-2. Yes, Abel, you're right. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's serve him up some fried Okert. Right off of the bat mask. Oh, that looked like it actually went off his shoulder. I thought it went off his mask. Went off his right shoulder. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Right side line drive right to Walker, who grabs it for out number 3. That would have scored another run for sure. But the Astros get lucky as it goes straight at Walker, who's in the right spot to grab it. He didn't even have to move. Out number 3. Finally. 4-1. Astros and Mariners have the same amount of hits, 5. But the Mariners have converted much better. 4-1. Astros left a lot of base runners on in the first, stranded some more on in the third. They've only come up with 1 run. Let's actually take a look at left on base. For those of you who do not know the difference between stranded base runners and left on base, left on base is every time a batter has an opportunity to move a runner around. In other words, there's a runner on base and a batter comes up and is not able to do anything with the runner on base. So they don't get a walk, they don't get a hit, they fly out, they ground out, or they strike out, right? That's a left on base. Right now, in just 3 innings, the Astros have left 10 on base. 10 runners on base. Now, the worst one so far has been Yainer Diaz. 5 players left on base with Yainer Diaz at the plate. So Yainer has batted twice, and he's had 5 runners on. So at one point he had 3 runners on. Another point he had 2 runners on. He didn't move any of them around. So just to let you know, in 3 innings, 10 left on base. Now the Mariners have left 8 on base. But there's a big difference, though. They've been at the plate more times than the Astros have. Chas McCormick is back up at the plate, his second at-bat of the game. Come on, we need some Chasmanian Devil. He fouls the first pitch off for strike 1. 60 pitches now for Evans. Here comes the 0-1 to Chas. Outside, ball 1. Yes, good job by Okra Man. Good old Stephen Okra. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. Whoa. That almost hit McCormick, but he did a little check swing and it fouled off of his bat, so it's 1-2. Way up and in. Kind of a defensive check swing there. Absolutely, Fred. Myers gets back, Pena gets back, things will turn around. Jordan will be back. We'll also get some more pitchers in there. I'm telling you, things will get better. Things will get locked down. McCormick hits something out to the right side of the field in the air, but it goes foul. Count remains 1-2. Yeah, Justin, you're right. Watching the Astros play like this right now is giving us a dose of their depth. Low and outside in the dirt. Ball 2. The count is even. That's one of the things that we need to really appreciate. The Astros have come this far and climbed and scraped and clawed and fought to get first place. Low and outside again, full count. And they've done a lot of it with their depth only, or with a balance of depth and starters, but never at full strength. Inside, fouled off. Count remains full. Yeah, Fred, I mean, think about it. We have Pena, Alvarez. I know that Paredes, we don't know what's going on with Paredes, but getting those 3 guys back. Wow, look at that. That ball was a good 2 inches below the zone and inside. It was ball 4. The umpire calls it strike 3. Look at this. Egregious. McCormick argued about it with the umpire. Useless to argue, but it was a terrible call. Absolutely terrible call. One away. The umpire again letting us down. Dubon takes the first pitch for strike 1. Is Doobie going to have himself a big day? Come on, it's his birthday. Celebrate, bro. On the inside, strike 2. He's down 0-2. Yeah, what I was saying, Fred, though, is not just Alvarez, but think about it. Alvarez, Myers, and Pena get back in the lineup. We get a couple of other pitchers in. We don't have to rely so heavily on our depth. Hopefully, Paredes is coming back soon. We'll see. But we get those guys back in. Think about how the lineup will look. It will rejuvenate this offense and give us some spiritual power, too. 1-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch to Dubon. A little outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You're right, Crispy. Chaz definitely earned the walk. He had a great at bat. And the umpire stole it. He literally stole it. Way outside. 3-2. The Astros are actually not doing too bad about getting Evans to throw a lot of pitches. Too much help from the umpire. Way high and inside. I'm surprised he didn't call it strike 3, but that's ball 4. Should have been a second walk by Evans. But we have 1 runner on now with 1 out. It's my birthday today. All I want is an Astros win. I hope you get an Astros win. I've been fasting, by the way, guys. I've been fasting since the game yesterday. Since the end of the game yesterday. I haven't eaten anything. I'm having black coffee. I've had tea. First pitch is a ball to Bryce Matthews, and now they're going to have a little meeting on the mound. Raleigh and Evans. I haven't eaten so much as a cracker. No solid food since yesterday. Just tea, water, coffee. I did have actually just a little bit of liquid yogurt for my stomach. And of course I have medicine that I take, and but no food. Astros lose again today. The fast continues. But I will say this. I do have a friend coming to visit. I haven't seen him in many months. So it's possible I eat with him just because. I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. He's bringing his mother here. He's from Australia. They live in Totori here in Japan. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bryce Matthews. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Hard hits to center field. He's getting the bat on it. That's good improvement by Matthews. He was doing nothing but swinging and missing the ball before, but now he's putting the bat on it. Zach Short is at the plate for his first at bat. 92 right in there, swing and a miss. 1 ball. I'm sorry, no balls, 1 strike. Crispy says, what's the point of fasting? I think maybe you mean, why am I fasting? Because there are several reasons to fast. Different people have different reasons to fast. 0-2 is the count to Zach Short, the 80th pitch of the game, on the way from Evans in just a moment. Here comes 0-2. This is hit out. I was hoping Crawford would make an error there, but he's able to put it away. And that's it for the Astros in this inning. They get a walk, and that's it. 4-1, the Astros are down by 3. We go into the bottom of the 4th. We'll see who's going to be up on the mound for the Astros in the bottom of the 4th. Right now it still shows Okert, but it might be someone else. They might try to go with somebody like Gusto, unless they plan on starting him sometime soon, but I don't see him on the schedule, so it might be Gusto. We'll see. But let's see here. Let's take a look in the chat. Yeah, old dog, I think the ump owes us about 8 pitches right now. I do agree that the Astros need to hit with runners on base, but they haven't had many opportunities in the past couple of innings. I mean, well, let me back up. In the first inning and in the third inning, they had opportunities, especially in the first, and they did manage to get 1 run in the third, so there's that. But in the second inning and in the fourth inning, they had no opportunities really. I mean, they had a guy on first, but you know, that's not scoring position, so kind of hard to score a runner on from first base. So I'm not going to complain about that too much. But my number one problem with the Astros right now is with pitching. Obviously, McCullers has been the weak link for the starters, and the relief pitching has just been pretty bad so far. Luckily, Okert got the last out of the last inning, but their relief pitching yesterday was absolutely atrocious, and we can't have a chance if the relievers don't shut the batting down. Okert is back in the game. First pitch is a little inside. Cole Young is at the plate, but Gusto is warming up in the bullpen. 1-0 pitch, here it comes. Low and outside check swing. Did he go? They say he did. 1-1. I'm surprised. It didn't look like he went around, but it's fine by me. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cole Young. Here comes the next pitch. A little high, ball 2. Crispy, just to for me, just to answer your question about fasting, I have cancer. I have a big tumor on my kidney. So doing intermittent fasting helps me to overcome that and beat that. So there's your answer for me personally. It's that simple for me. Other people, they fast for different reasons. Some people just fast because they want to lose fat. You can lose fat very quickly when you fast. You can also get rid of inflammation in the body. 2-2, here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Okert starts off the inning with a strikeout on a 2-2 pitch. 1 away, and J.P. Crawford comes to the plate. But there are a variety of reasons, even spiritual reasons, religious reasons for fasting. So it's different for every person. Here's the first pitch to Crawford. Outside, ball 1. Are there benefits to fast? Do you really not know anything about fasting? I guess not. Outside, ball 2. 2-0 to Crawford. Lefty on lefty action right now. Shut him down. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice. Crawford has a 15-game hitting streak. He got his hit last night in his very last at bat. He barely got one in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss again. Nice. 2 sliders in a row. 1 in the center and 1 at the bottom of the zone. The count is even, 2-2. Justin, eating a cheeseburger is good. You know, it tastes good, but it's debatable whether or not it is good. Fouled off. Actually, eating a cheeseburger is neutral. What you believe about it and what you feel about it is the important thing. If you believe it's good, then it's good. If you really feel and believe that it's good and healthy, then it is. But if you feel and believe it's not, then it's not. It's really that simple. Here's the 2-2 pitch, the 20th of the game for Okert. Ooh, little too high and inside. Crawford holds up, full count. Here comes a full count pitch to J.P. Crawford. Swing and a miss. There we go. 78-mile-per-hour slider right in there. All 3 strikes to Crawford that were delivered by Okert were sliders right in the zone. Crawford just couldn't figure it out. Look at this. Man, I can feel that air all the way over here in Hiroshima. 2 outs, guys. Nobody on. Julio Rodriguez at the plate. Here's the pitch. Too far inside for ball 1. Pretty interesting. They are not bringing in Gusto just yet. Julio Rod is 1 for 2 today with a single. Here's the next pitch. A little high and outside. 2-0 is the count. Shake, why'd you call him chubby? I have no idea what Crispy looks like. He might be thin as a rail. Let's go Space City indeed. Yeah, there are a variety of benefits to fasting. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. Another slider. His slider's looking nice. Nice slider. 25th pitch of the game coming up for Fried Okert in just a moment. Here's the pitch. Ooh, nice. Another slider on the outside edge taken this time. Nice, easy pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. J-Rod about to become Strike Rod. He calls a timeout and steps out of the box. DeLion, I see what you're saying. McCullers, I wish he would have put his ego away and just went to the pen. I don't think it's just his ego. I think it's the coaches, not his ego. It's the coaches. Fouled off. Count remains 2-2. Because you think about it, it doesn't matter how much McCullers tells Espada or Miller, listen, I'm okay. I can do this. I can do it. If they see differently, they can pull him out. So it's not his decision to make. It's theirs. So it's on them, not him. Woo, just barely outside. The umpire could have given that to us. He decided not to. He could have given us one back. 3 balls and 2 strikes. McCullers gets a new ball. Cousin Brian, you're right. Fasting is a great way to get rid of illness, and that's my plan with this tumor. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another slider at the top of the zone. Rodriguez and Crawford look like fools trying to get the bat on Okert's slider. Man, they can't figure out that slider for nothing. Good call by Espada right there, leaving Steven Okert in the game when his slider is working. It seemed like the original plan was for Okert to go after the first batter or 2, and then for him to bring Gusto in. But Okert was looking so good, he just left him in, and it worked out brilliantly. 3 up and 3 down, and they could not get the bat on the ball. Absolutely amazing job there by Okert. He looked awesome. Much better than yesterday. I will say this, the Astros have dominated basically the Mariners' top of the lineup. Today so far, Crawford, Rodriguez, and Raleigh in the top 3, they only have 1 hit. Yesterday, it took them basically the whole game to get 1 hit. So think about that. Think about how the relief pitchers for the Astros got torched yesterday by the middle and lower part of the batting order. And today, you're seeing the same exact thing. Check this out. The first 5 batters for the Mariners only have 2 hits, and that's the 4th and 5th batter. But RBIs don't start until the 6th batter. The 6th, the 7th, the 8th batter have all the RBIs. Can you believe that? So the top of the Mariners batting order is not what's hurting us. It's the bottom of the batting order. My personal hero comes to the plate. Come on, bro. I believe in you all the time. Every day, all day, even when I'm asleep. Wow, he crushed that one out to the left field stands. Strike one. Here comes the next pitch. In the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike to Altuve. Leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, old dog, I like that lineup. Paredes, Pena, Myers, Alvarez, Altuve, Caratini, Smith, Diaz, McCormick as pinch hitter, Walker. 2 for 3 today with a single and a double. Crowd is a mixture of applause and boos. Who causes more emotion in any stadium than Jose Altuve? You got so many people cheering and booing simultaneously. By the way, he just tied Wade Boggs' all-time hits versus Seattle. 3rd all-time most hits versus the Mariners. Jose Altuve tied for 3rd. He's gonna take sole possession of that in this game, I'm sure. First pitch to Caratini is a strike. Caratini is also 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. He's ripping the ball. Even has a stolen base. How about that? Runner on second with no outs. Big inning. Come on, let's go. Here's the pitch to the Batman. Just a little inside. Man, that could have been a strike, but it was called a ball. Thank you, ump. He actually gave us one. 1-1. Three more extra base hits, and he will tie Lance Berkman. All-time extra base hits for the Astros. Outside to the Batman. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Way outside. 3-1. Looks like they got Vargas warming up in the bullpen for the Mariners. Is that who that is? Yep. Here's the 3-1 pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. Good take. Brilliant take there. Man, that cutter had some movement and it had some drop on it. But it looks like that's not that's not going to be good for him. That's not going to be good for Evans. They're going to go ahead and pull him out. Check this out, guys. Evans is not even going to get an opportunity to finish 4.1 innings. Isn't it amazing? The Astros only have 1 run, and they're pulling this guy out. Talk about a short leash. But he does have 88 pitches. Maybe he has a pitch limit. I didn't think about that. I don't know if this guy, Logan Evans, is capable of getting up to 100 pitches. But the Astros have runners on first and second with no outs here in the top of the 5th. Don't worry about it. I need to go heat up my hot water. I'll be right back, guys. But listen, don't worry about it. The Astros are going to stop stranding runners on base. They're going to start scoring their base runners. Mark my words. Go Stros. I think most of you listening know that I am in Japan. I live stream from the countryside of Hiroshima Prefecture in a little town called Toyosaka. That is not Osaka, okay? That's Toyosaka. Toyosaka is a village, I guess you could say. I mean, it's a small town. It's a small town, but maybe in the U.S. you'd call it like a big village. You know, it's either a very small town or a big village, whatever. But because of that, when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a small box of stuff from here in Japan. I'll be letting you all know how that giveaway will go, but we are less than 300 subs away from 1,000. The error there by Julio Rodriguez on the easy scoop in center field causes us to have runners on the corners, first and third. Good job, J-Rod. Hang on just a second, guys. Somebody's at the door. Hang on. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm really sorry about that. That's the thing about living in the countryside of Japan. You just randomly have people just show up at your back door. Oh my gosh, apparently we are out of the inning. The Astros came up with some more hits, but we're not able to score any more runs. It's 4-2. Oh man, just running from there to here, back and forth. There's a lady that comes by. Actually, there are two different people that come by. There's a couple. Well, they're not really a couple. They're brother and sister, but there's a pair that comes by sometimes, and they want to pick up my... There's also a lady that comes by to pick up scrap metal. So basically, they just show up randomly, and they just came to my back door to ask me. And of course, I want them to pick up the scrap metal. Cal Raleigh hits this out to deep center field all the way to the wall. Chas McCormick makes the catch just a couple of feet away from a homer. Raleigh almost with a home run. Out number one. Ryan Gusto is on the mound. Look how close that was. Just a couple of feet away from being a homer to center field. Good catch by McCormick there. Gusto is on the mound now. Arozarena swings. He's the next batter and gets nothing but air. Strike one, 0-1. Here's the pitch. Right in there, 94 miles an hour for strike two. 0-2 to Arozarena. But yeah, there's recycling laws and stuff here, and since I live in the countryside, I don't have trash pickup, so I really need them to pick that stuff up in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So I had to run out there really quick and show her, this is okay, you can take this, and you can't take these things. And then once we were clear, then I run back in here. Here's the 1-2 pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, I really don't I really don't like having to interrupt my live stream for stuff like that, but you know, sometimes it happens. Outside, ball 3, full count. Luckily though that I mean, I say luckily, I'd rather come back and see that the Astros had scored a lot more runs, but I didn't miss anything major. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rusto. Ryan Rusto. Or is it Guyan Rusto? He gets the strikeout against Arozarena. 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Good toss. I think my hot water is ready. I can have myself a hot, fresh cup of coffee. Here comes the next pitch. The new batter who takes the first pitch for ball 1 is Jorge Polanco. He does have a single today and a walk. He has scored both times. He had a Polanco. Right in there. Strike 1. 1-1 is the count. Bizio in the house. Jordan, you see my Bizio shirt behind me on the chair. Here's the pitch. Too far inside. 2-1 is the count. Yeah, unfortunately, we did strand some runners while I was gone, trying to take care of the metal. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Man, could have been framed better by Caratini, but I don't think he was expecting it to be inside. So that's ball 3, 3-1. Here comes the 3-1 toss from Gusto. That's in there. Hit to center field. McCormick floats back. Should be playable for out number 3. No problem. 3 up and 3 down for Gusto. Almost gave up a home run to Raleigh. But the Astros continue to own the top of the batting order. Top 3 batters, only 1 hit. And I got some big old smudges on my glasses. I actually really can't stand wearing glasses at all. I like sunglasses, but I can't stand wearing reading glasses. And because of the people always jump to the conclusion, oh man, that's just getting old. No, it's not. It's not the reason. The reason is because of the severe blood flow issues I have that have been caused by my tumor. It's hurt the blood flow. It's very weak. I do take a blood thinner every day because I've had a blood clot in my leg. Very dangerous stuff. Fun times, right? Let me go grab my hot water. I'll be right back, guys. It's 4-2 at the end of 5. Top of the 6th, due up is Mauricio Dubon, Bryce Matthews, and Zach Short. I'll be right back. lovely day, it looks like, in or lovely evening in Seattle. Vargas is still on the mound for the Mariners. He's facing Doobie. Takes the first pitch low and outside for ball one. Seen Mauricio Dubon take quite a few pitches today on that first pitch. I'm not sure if he's got a strategy going there or what. It's nice to see him not chasing that first pitch. He almost hits Dubon with that pitch. Ball two. 2-0. Come on, birthday boy. Birthday boy. Do something. Fouls it off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Altuve and Caratini, the only consistent hitters today, looks like. Only small filters. Here's the pitch. Right in the bottom of the zone for strike 2. The count is even. I'm looking around for a nice coffee filter. I have the small sizes and the big sizes, but right now I only have the small size. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. He grounds this one to the shortstop, who throws it over to first in the dirt, but scooped up by the first baseman for out number 1. Crawford, we can always rely on him for either errors or almost errors. Where in the world did I put the top of the coffee? Oh my gosh. Not Cam Smith, Bryce Matthews was just nailed with a pitch by Carlos Vargas. Bryce Matthews is down. Holy freaking cow, guys. Even our brand new guys are getting hit, getting injured. This. Whoa. On the face? Holy freaking cow. Where did that hit him? Either on the face or the neck. But he's on first base. He's up and on first base. Zach Short at the plate with a runner on first, 1 out. That's a strike. 0-1. Man, dangerous. Yeah, Fred, could have been. It was the chin, the face, or that area right there. Yeah, it definitely. He's moving his. They just showed him on first base. He's moving his mouth around. It must have got him on the chin. He's back at first. There's a little throw over to the first base side, but Matthews is back. Man, talk about dangerous. He took one to the chin. Literally took it on the chin. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Short. Hey, oh my God, he hits Short right in the side. Are they not going to give him a warning or take him out? He hits Matthews in the chin. He nails Short in the back. 2 batters in a row, and Dubon is yelling. He's really upset. Holy freaking cow. What in the world is going on? Yeah, and the coaches are yelling back at the Astros, you be quiet, sit down. Your guy is nailing our guys. In the face, in the back, these seem clear. Why would you do that? Why would you hit our minor league guys? These guys are brand new to the league, and you're just hitting them? Take a look at this. I mean, there's no way for him to get out of the way. Right in the back. Right in the ribs. That's where Pena got hit, basically. The umpires are now talking about what they want to do here, but I agree with the Astros commentators. This is not a warning. You got to pull this guy out. A ball to the face and then a ball to the back, back to back. Come on, you got to take him out. You got to take him out. The spot is headed back to the dugout, looks like. Good grief, guys. What kind of crap is that? We are already like #1 in injuries in the league, in the entire league. We bring up our minor league guys, and they get hit in the face and in the back, back to back. These guys are wet behind the ears, right? They just got off the boat, and they're getting hit. Now I'm scared. Altuve's at the plate, and I'm worried. You know that the dugout is going to clear if Vargas hits Altuve. I think the benches are going to clear. I'm telling you now, the benches will clear. Here's the first pitch to Altuve. 97 right in there, strike one. One out with runners on first and second. Altuve is 2 for 3 today with a single and a double. How about a triple or a homer? Let's work our way towards that cycle, Altuve. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Way outside, ball 1. 1-1. Fred, it is very strange. I mean, 2 batters getting hit, but the way they were hit, I mean, one gets hit to the face, and the other one gets nailed right in the back. There was no way they could get out of the way of that. That's ridiculous. Here's the pitch. Altuve goes through the left side. It's going to get through and score a run. They can't handle it at third base. Probably going to be a hit for Altuve. Short goes to third. RBI base hit for Altuve. Heck yes. He rockets it to the third base side. Third baseman just can't handle it. Look at that. Boom on the short hop. Good hit. Another single for Altuve. He is 3 for 4 today. Astros pull within 1. And then they pull Vargas out. Now they pull him out. You know why they're pulling him out? Because he didn't hit Altuve like he was. He was supposed to hit Altuve too. He's supposed to keep hitting the batters, but he didn't do it, so we're pulling him out, see? Yeah, I don't know why it was a mob boss. That's how the Seattle mob bosses talk. Meh, see, he didn't hit him like we planned, see? Meh. So we pulled him out, see? Meh, that's how it is here, see? Something like that. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if they had hit Altuve, it would have been on. We would have seen a free-for-all on this field, guys. It would have not been pretty. It would have not been pretty. Yes, Crispy. It would have been a brawl. I guarantee you that would have been a bench clearing, bullpen clearing brawl if they hit Altuve. 3-4. The Astros are down just by 1. The Batman Victor Caratini is at the plate. Coming up. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Yes, that's right. Victor Caratini is at the plate next. He's going to be facing Gabe Spear. Gabe, not Babe. I misspelled it. Gabe Spear. There we go. Boom. Barely got that microphone muted in time. Now's a good opportunity for me to go ahead and put the extra coffee in my filter and pour myself a cup. But I don't know where I put the lid to my coffee. I took my lid off and I don't know where I put it. I've lost myself here. Tying run at third base, guys. Caratini is now batting righty to match up to this pitcher. Gabe Spire is a lefty. Here's the pitch. Wow. Way too far inside. One and 0 pitch here. And comes through. Heck yes, Batman. If you are a member of my channel, you can punch in the Batman emoji. If you're not a member of the channel, then I'm sorry. But the cheapest membership is really, really, really cheap. Really cheap. Look at this hit right up the middle, right behind the pitcher. Short scores. Altuve goes to second base. Cam Smith comes to the plate. This is a tie game, 4-4. Crank it up, Cam. Here comes the toss. Inside, ball one. That's right. Little big man comes through again, Fred. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Now it's Cam's turn. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Right in there, 1-1. This filter is way too small. This coffee filter. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Cam takes it up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fox at bat, welcome in. Better late than never. What happened, man? It's the Astros have been hit. Bryce Matthews got hit in the face, like in the chin. Zach Short got hit in the back. Altuve got a hit. Drove in a run. Brought us within 1. Caratini got a hit up the middle. Tied up the game. It's 4-4. Cam Smith fouls off the previous pitch. It's now 2-2. He's got runners on first and second with 1 out. Come on, big hit, Cam. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. I still haven't figured out where on earth did I put my lid to my coffee. You know what? I think I know what happened. I think I took it with me in the other room whenever I went to answer the door. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Cam. Grounds it foul down the third base side. Yeah, old dog, that'll teach him to aim for us. Instant karma, right? 76 people following along right now. Thank you for being here on the Geaux Stros channel, the live play-by-play, the only one in English on YouTube for the Astros. Please like the... Either way, it's a strike. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Runners have to stay on first and second. Altuve can't tag to go to third. Hey, Braden, thanks for that. Right hamstring tightness. Is that the same one? Wasn't it his right hamstring before? I guess it's just kind of weak right now. Hopefully he's able to rehabilitate quickly. Maybe he came back too soon the last time. If it's the same one. If not, man, he needs to take it easy. It would help if he lost a little weight, though. Just saying. Christian Walker at the plate. First pitch is low and inside for ball one. Walker does have an RBI, actually. He was able to get an opposite field hit earlier, driving a run. Bennett Sousa is warming up in the bullpen for the Astros. 1-0 pitch to Walker on the way. Fouls it back. 1-1. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Yeah, Braden, we have definitely already come back. We've tied it up. Now we have an opportunity to take the lead. Come on, Walker. Redeem yourself, bro. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off down the first base side, and that'll be 1-2. Yeah. Well, every at-bat is a chance to help out his WAR, but man, he's got a really good opportunity right now. And you're right. One ball, two strikes. Here's the pitch to Christian Walker. Fouls it off again. At least he's not missing the ball. Good job. I believe in you. Come on, Walker. Here's a 1-2 pitch from Spear. Hits it way up in the air and back out of play, thankfully. Count remains 1-2. I'm going to put my hot water into my other bottle to keep it nice and hot. One bottle for heating up, one bottle for keeping hot. Keeping heat. One for making heat, one for keeping heat. All right. Short little break on the mound. 3 more likes to get me to 50, guys. I appreciate you doing that. If you haven't liked the live stream already, you can do that now. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Walker. In the dirt, check swing, did he go? They say he did not. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Holy cow, Old Dog has become a member. Welcome to Voyager Cadet, Old Dog. Here's the next pitch, the 2-2 in the dirt. Full count. Walker laid off. He's fouled off. The ball's in the zone. Laid off the ones out of the zone. Good at bat so far. The good news is that with this count, Altuve can be off and running immediately. Heck yes! Astros take the lead 5-4. Good coming through. How about that? Pulling McCullers out of a hole there. I mean, he wasn't going to get the loss anyway. Not after they tie the game up. But man, they have pulled him out of a hole this inning. Yainer Diaz fouls the first pitch off. We still have runners on the corners, guys. We can get some more runs. 2 outs with runners on first and third. Yes, Walker has had some good at-bats today, Crispy. After being like 0 for 15, he's finally turned it around. Diaz trying to make something happen there. That four-seam fastball, he fouls it back. You can do it. Astros trying to make me eat today. Are they going to make me break my fast? They throw the ball over to first base. I don't think there's a big danger of Walker stealing right now. 0-2 is the count to Yainer Diaz. Come on, Diaz. It's time for you to do something. He's 0 for 2. Let's make it 1 for 3. In the dirt. Walker is attempting to steal, but he does. That's interesting. Walker gets to second base. That ball was in the dirt. Thankfully, he ran on the right pitch. It was in the dirt, and Raleigh had to grab it and scoop it up. By the time he did, he had no throw to make. Runners on second and third. Come on, Diaz. You can do it, baby. Drive in 2 more. Here's the 1-2 pitch. In the dirt again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gabe Spear looking a little shaken up on the mound right now. Yeah, you're right, Fred. The chin music that Bryce got has definitely woken up the Astros. Yeah, Patrick, I'm perfectly okay with Walker going opposite field. He can definitely do that. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Diaz. He hits this one high in the air to right field. It's going to sail off into the crowd, thankfully. Count remains 2-2. By the way, guys, I don't really talk about it, but in case you don't know, if you want to do a one-time donation, I do have super chats now, so you can actually donate. You see the little dollar sign or whatever next to the chat. Those are like one-time donations, but if you become a member, you can have like some special things. High and outside. Full count to Yiner. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Big moment here. Here comes the full count pitch. Holy cow, what a good catch. 20-year-old rookie second baseman makes a great catch over his head, but that would have been ball 4. But you can't blame him for hitting it right there. That was a good catch. So close. The Astros would have scored at least one more run on that. Wow, that was close. But the Astros get 3 runs in the 6th. 11 hits now for the Stros and 5 runs. 5 hits for the Mariners and 4 runs. The Astros lead by 1. Amazing stuff right there. So close to getting more runs on the board. So close. Let's believe that today the Astros relievers are in their classic form, which is to be giving up absolutely nothing. Just completely shut down the Mariners. We are going into the bottom of the 6th. DeLion says, if you get Dubon singing, you know you struck a chord. Yeah, if Dubon starts coming up out of the dugout and yelling at the pitcher, absolutely. There are certain players that just don't really get angry so much. Dubon, Altuve, when they get upset, it's normally because something is truly unfair. Yeah. I was really shocked, Jordan, that Walker got that stolen base. But then again, the ball was in the dirt, so he got lucky with that. I think that Raleigh might have thrown the ball if he had gotten a clean catch. Jordan asked me if I'm hungry. I want to eat. My mind wants to eat. But my stomach hasn't been growling at all. I haven't been like fighting the urge to eat. Actually, fasting for 24 hours is not particularly difficult. You just you need to have things to do. You need to keep yourself busy doing things. Sleep and rest whenever it's time to sleep and rest. And throughout the day, don't give yourself an opportunity to be drawn or tempted to go to the fridge or go make anything. You need to substitute those eating times with something else. So you need to stay busy. Yeah, I'll take the 3 runs, Jordan. I'll take that. 3 runs an inning is good. Hey, Fox at Bat is now a Voyager cadet. Awesome. Welcome. The first pitch is fouled off down the third base line. Donovan Solano. The count is 0-1. I got 3 members now. That's great. Got another Voyager cadet. Let's go into space, y'all. Space City. Fouled off again. 0-2 is the count. By the way, Bennett Sousa is on the mound. Sousa. 0-2 is the count. Leadoff batter at the plate for the Mariners. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Beautiful slider with a lot of drop on it. 1K. 1 away. 1K. 1 away. Fox at bat, old dog. You guys remember that there are a few emojis that you can use now. That one is Geaux Stros. Here's the next pitch. Fouled off. Dominic Canzone at the plate. Oh and 1 is the count. Jordan says, sometimes I have to force myself to eat. I can't really afford to lose too much weight because I lose it fast. You must have a high metabolism, especially if you're active and working out and doing athletics. You burn a lot more, so you need more. It's fasting has to be very limited and targeted whenever you're active. 0-2 is the count against Dominic Canzone. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Low and outside. 1-2. When I was growing up, I hated eating breakfast. I needed several hours, I'd say at least 3 hours of being awake and milling around before I started to get hungry. Here's the pitch. Right on the inside. Close. But ball 2. 2-2 is the count. 1 out, nobody on. Canzone with the 2-2 count. But I used to get nauseated whenever my mom and dad would force me to eat. You gotta eat breakfast. You gotta eat breakfast. You eat this. Or I'd get whipped if I didn't eat. Wow. Low and inside. Got that corner, but the umpire did not like it. It's a full count now. I've heard of parents punishing their kids by not letting them eat, but my parents would punish me if I didn't eat. Here's the full count. Ball 4, too far in. Couple of questionable calls there missed by the umpire, and that's a walk. We have a 1-out base runner on first. But yeah, you know, there's one thing, even as an adult, I don't like, guys. You know, when I first wake up, I first wake up, I don't roll out of the bed thinking, my gosh, I want breakfast. That thought is so far from my mind. That's not what I'm looking for. Here comes the first pitch to Ben Williamson. Check swing, did he go around? I think he did. No, they say he did not. 1 ball, no strikes. Yes, the old dog, it's double play time. Double play time, y'all. Here's the pitch. Grounded to the right side. A diving stop by Bryce Matthews. He goes to first. Great defensive play for out number 2. Didn't have time to get up and go to second base, but he saves an opposite field hit. That's not a very good angle. Can't really see what's going on here. You can see it there. Look at that great play by Bryce Matthews. Saved a base hit there. Bryce Matthews getting it done. 2 outs, runner at second. Here's the first pitch to Cole Young. Outside, ball 1. We need to shut it down right here. Cole Young is the 9th batter in the lineup. It'd be nice to shut it down before we get to the top of the lineup. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. High, 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, sore chin and all. He caught it, got the out at first. Yeah, Fred, when I wake up, I can definitely use a cup of coffee as soon as possible. A little meeting on the mound right now going with the Astros. They have a 2-0 count. Matthew's still shaking the dirt out of his pants. He scooped up a lot of that dirt. Yep, here at the house, as soon as I get up, I go outside with my kettle. I get some water. I bring it back in and put on the hot water to boil. make myself some coffee. That's the first thing I do. Here's the pitch. Right in there. Strike one. Slider. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-one pitch on the way to Young. There we go. Inside edge. Good call by the umpire. That was a strike indeed. 2-2. So Sosa comes back in the count. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Out number 3. How about that? Even with the walk, nothing comes of it. Sosa gets us through the inning. The Astros maintain the lead through 6. We go to the top of the 7th. Astros with 11 hits. Mariners, the Submariners, with 5. 5-4, the Astros are leading. Chas McCormick due up, followed by Mauricio Dubon and Bryce Matthews. Yeah, you're right, Crispy. Bryce Matthews is definitely looking a lot better than he has before. He's been looking so much better after the All-Star break. I don't know what they worked on or if he worked on anything, but man, he was a strikeout and a swing and miss machine. I was not impressed at all. And that's actually why I wanted them to hang on to Corona, because even though Corona hadn't done anything major with the hitting, if you guys can go back and look at all of his at-bats, you'll notice a couple of things. One is that Corona's very patient at the plate. The other thing is that he was only swinging at pitches right in the zone. Pitches that were outside the zone, he was taking them. He got a couple of walks. He was making some contact with the ball. I think it was only a matter of time before he really got it going. And I feel like he deserved to have another chance, you know. But when McCormick came back, they sent him back down to AAA. I was kind of disappointed. But we'll see. Maybe he'll have another opportunity. I really hope that he just goes gangbusters in the minors, and so the Astros can see clearly, hey, this is a guy that we could use. That'd be nice. Look at that view. Well, it's too late now, but nice view on the West Coast as the sun is going down. It's 1:10 p.m. here in Japan. Casey Legumina, is that the plate? Or on the mound, rather? At the plate. Yeah, he's going to toss himself. McCormick fouls off that first pitch for strike one. Casey Legumina. Bottom of the plate, swing and a miss, 0-2. Come on, McCormick. Where's the Chasmanian Devil? He fouls that one off. The count remains 0-2. Yeah, Jordan. Yeah, Nato is good. Here's the pitch. High and inside, swing and a miss. Strike 3 on the foul tip by Chas McCormick. McCormick has been getting the bat on the ball. He just hasn't turned it into hits. He's over 3 today. I'm not disappointed with his performance today. It's nice to see that he's not just swinging and missing. He's already looking better than most of the at-bats by like Hummel and Walker. Even though Walker has been doing good this game. Mauricio Dubon takes the first pitch on the outside edge for strike 1. Here comes the next pitch from Legumina. Whoa. Up and in, kind of a defensive check swing there. Fouls it off. 0-2. Crispy says that Corona deserved more playing time to see what good he could do. I agree. Dubon swings and misses for strike 3. 96-mile-per-hour fastball. 2 strikeouts in a row for Casey Legumina. Bryce Matthews comes to the plate with 2 outs, nobody on. Solo homer. He deserves it. After what he's been through, he deserves it. Here's the pitch. 97 right in there. Okay, now you've seen it. Now you've seen the fastball. You know how fast it's coming, and you know it's going to come again. So you can just put the bat on it and send it out of the park. Here's the pitch. Little outside. That was close. 1 ball and 1 strike. Surprised the umpire didn't call that one, but then again, not surprised. Here's the 1-1. Outside again. 2-1. Like I said earlier, a friend of mine who actually found me through my YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel that's about my house and my life here in Japan, he's coming to visit today. Swing and a miss on the inside. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. The count is even, 2-2. Bryce asks for timeout. But he's bringing his mom from Australia. She's visiting. And so I'd like to eat with them today. It'd be nice for the Astros to win. Look at that. Swing and a miss. Legumina puts the Astros down 1-2-3 with 3 strikeouts. Swing and a miss, swing and a miss, swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts swinging. As the Astros commentators say on the radio, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, or good night. Right? Yes. Nothing doing for the Astros in the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Will we see Sousa again? We just might. Oakland and Texas won. Dodgers lose. Okay. I'm interested to see what some of the other scores are. I'm going to refresh this page and see if I can get some scores on the screen. It's kind of silly, but MLB TV, whenever I have the game on, they're not updating the scores for me. I don't know why. All the scores at the top of the screen, nothing. They show nothing. Pretty interesting. They did a poll. What is the most important factor for the Astros' success after the All-Star break? And there were 2 that were very close. Getting healthy and hitting with runners in scoring position. Magnum PI is on the mound. Brian King, he'll be pitching, taking over here in the bottom of the 7th for the Astros. First pitch is a strike to J.P. Crawford. Next one is off the plate for ball 1. Count is even, 1-1. Oh, yeah, Jordan, I see what you're saying. That's fouled off for strike 2. 1-2 to Crawford. Yeah, we can hold it together, Crispy. We can hold it together and win this game. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Crawford. He swings at this one, fouls it off. Count remains 1-2. Jordan says you might have to skip the game tomorrow. Wake up at 2:30 in the morning plus entertain your friend. The game tomorrow, I will be waking up maybe by 2:15. And I will not be entertaining my friend because they're not staying the night. They're just visiting for a couple of hours today, this afternoon, and then they will meet up with his wife. And the 3 of them will go back to their home in Totori. Totori is several hours driving from here. Maybe it takes 4 hours to drive from here to there. So they're not staying here. John King. But he's not Magnum PI, baby. Maybe he's Bargain bin. He's discount Magnum PI. This is the real deal right here. Here's the pitch. Crawford goes down. One away. I'm still hearing noises outside. She should not be still milling around out there. I think what she's trying to do is, I have a collapsed building, and I think she might be trying to get some of the metal out of that building. I don't mind, but you know, I hate that I can't be out there, because you need to be careful when you have a collapsed building. You know, there's a danger of more of it falling down. Here's the pitch. Right in there, top of the zone, strike one to Julio Rodriguez, the 92-mile-per-hour fastball at the top of the zone. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Stros. Alright guys, I am back. Yeah, the lady is out there in the second floor of my storage building, digging around, pulling out a bunch of old stuff, and she's just taking all the scrap metal out of there. Just have to make sure she's not overstepping her bounds. 1-1. One ball, one strike to Zach Short. First pitch was a ball, second pitch was right in there. Here comes the next pitch. Low and outside. Check swing, ball 2. 2-1. Yeah, they are now talking about the hamstring issue by Paredes, but we don't have any update on that. This is tapped up to the second baseman, who fires over to first. So Short will ground out for the first out of the inning. The good news is I found the lid to my coffee. It's so dark in here. My desk is black and this is dark brown, so I didn't see it. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Altuve's at the plate, guys. 3 for 4 today. Ooh. Right in the top of the zone, 94 miles an hour. Nice swing by Altuve. Nice smooth swing, but he doesn't make contact. A double and 2 singles for Altuve today. It'd be nice to see a homer or a triple. I'll take the homer. Hit high in the air. Looks like that's going to be played by Cal Raleigh. Nope, the third baseman calls it. Puts it away for out number 2. So Altuve goes down on a fly ball. 3 for 5 today. Victor Caratini, the Batman, 3 for 3 today, is at the plate. Here's the pitch. First pitch on the outside edge for strike one. Yeah, Jordan, what you're saying about the drug problem there, I know a lot about what's going on. I say I know a lot. I've heard a lot about what's going on in different places in Seattle and in Houston and all the major cities. It's a big problem everywhere, right? It's unfortunate for the U.S. Too far inside on that pitch, 1-2 to Caratini. But in Japan, most of the people who are responsible for that are these foreigners that are supposedly immigrants that are being allowed to come in. Right in there for strike three. Caratini knew it. Strikes him out looking. 3 up and 3 down. So the Mariners have a really good 7th and 8th inning from the defensive side. Arozarena will be back on the mound in just a moment. My guess is that he will be facing Brian Abreu. What is the other drug that's become a big problem in recent years? It's not meth. It's something else. For some reason, it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. But Japan has really, really strict laws against drug use. Yes, that's right, Bruno. Fentanyl. That's correct. In China, you think the punishments are harsh in Japan, and they are. But they're even worse in China. In China, if you get caught with that stuff, you can be sentenced to death. Yep, everybody's coming in. That's right. Bruno is the winner. He's the first one to give the answer. You, sir, have won yourself some applause. Good job. Oh, man, Braden, you're so young. I'm so sad that you know what that is. Or are you asking a question? Hopefully you don't know what it is. If you know what it is, good for you. I'm happy. You don't want to know what that stuff is. You stay away from that crap. It'll destroy your life. To be honest, I'm an advocate for staying away from anything that's addictive, even if people don't consider it to be addictive. Everything with moderation. Everything, like even sugar. Sugar doesn't cause disease. It causes you to feel lethargic, and it can cause inflammation. And if you have a disease, it can actually feed the disease. Like it feeds cancer tumors and things like that. It causes inflammation. So having it in moderation throughout your life is good. But things like cigarettes that are addictive, that's bad for you and addictive. So stay away from those things. And then you got harsher things like fentanyl and meth, 1 ball, no strikes to Arozarena. Abreu is indeed on the mound. Here comes the next pitch. Right in there. Arozarena wasn't looking for that one. He turned away like it was going to hit him. Fooled you. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, you're right, Jordan. Heavy. Not able to get the throw there in time. Bryce Matthews tries to scoop it up and make the tag. But Arozarena slides in there and he gets the double. Leadoff double. Altuve had a chance to throw him out. Got there a little late, so even if Bryce Matthews had made the play, he wouldn't have been able to tag him in time. It was just hit in a decent spot. Jorge Polanco comes to the plate. 1 for 4 today. I'm sorry, 1 for 4 against Abreu in his career. Right on the outside edge, 98 miles an hour, strike 1. Old dog, I like that. Check swing on a high fastball. They say he did not go. That was close. 1 ball, 1 strike. Old Dog says, love is my drug of choice. Maybe for some people, baseball. They're addicted to baseball. Oh, baseball. Oh. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 98 miles an hour on the outside edge. Good toss. Abreu puts the paint on Polanco. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. Arozarena on second base. Here comes the 1-2 pitch in just a moment. Abreu taking a little extra time to see what he wants. Now he's got it. Here comes the toss. McCormick calls it, but Cam Smith does not back off, and he takes it. Arozarena goes to third base. Cam Smith, you need to be careful there. Neither one of them wanted to back off that ball. The glove got McCormick in the face. 1 out, runner on third. Donovan Solano at the plate. No. It looks like, yeah, it's Solano. Solano is pinch hitting for Raleigh. His career is 2 for 4 against Abreu. First pitch is a ball. Here's the pitch. Oh, he hit him. Are you kidding me? Abreu just hit Solano in the side, and now Solano's complaining about it. What a baby. Solano's complaining to the umpire about that as if Abreu was deliberately trying to hit him. Why would he do that? You big dummy, just go to first base and be quiet. Quit crying. You're a pinch hitter. Go to first base. You got lucky. And they immediately pull him out for a pinch runner. That's right. Go back home to your mama. Runners on the corners with 1 out, but that gives us an opportunity for a double play. I'm not opposed to having a runner on first base. We get the double play, and we can get out of the inning. Dominic Canzone comes to the plate. Travis, I read what you wrote right there. I don't even want to know what happened there. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Low and inside. Runner steals second base. So the double play is no longer on the table. They don't even make a throw out there. 0-1 is the count to Canzone. Here's the pitch from Abreu. Another one low and in the dirt. Swing and a miss. Good stop by Caratini. 0-2 is the count. You're right, Fred. Abreu, if Abreu was going to hit somebody, why wouldn't he hit one of the leadoff batters? Why would he get a guy out and then not hit Arozarena? You know, why would he not hit one of those guys? Like, he could have hit Raleigh or Arozarena. Why would he hit those guys? It doesn't make any sense. Fouled off. Count remains 0-2. Travis, 100% I agree. He should have just shut up and taken his base. Runners on second and third with 1 out. 0-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. 98 miles an hour. The elevator goes all the way to the top floor. Tommy Likey. Tommy want swingy. You get swingy, Tommy. You get swingy. Abreu picks up a K, and that's 2 outs. Yeah, Ayush, I agree. I'm not sure. I've already said, though, I would prefer Corona to have stayed in there and had a chance to keep playing. Josh Miller comes out to have a little chit-chat on the mound. This is the strikeout here. 98, just a couple inches up and out of the zone. Swing and a miss. Beautiful pitch. Boom. Perfect. That's the strength of Abreu right there. That high fastball. Just put it a couple inches above the zone. Make them swing. I do agree that Matthews is a little shaky. And I'm definitely not comfortable so far with him being at second base. He doesn't strike me as the dependable type there. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. It gets away. Is that going to score a run? Yes. Wild pitch. The game is tied. So many balls in the dirt from Abreu. It's just a matter of time, I guess. This game is tied 5-5. Runner on third with 2 outs. Ball 1 to Miles Mastrobuoni. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Right in there for a strike. That last slider was terrible. This slider was perfect. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. You know, the Mariners have scored most of their runs without actually having to hit the ball. Most of their runs have come from other means. Swing and a miss. 98 on the inside. I'd be happy if Abreu just stuck with his fastball. Just keep throwing the fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. There we go again. 99 miles an hour, just above the zone. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, out number 3. That's all we needed, was for you to keep throwing those pitches, Abreu. But he throws a wild pitch. Once again, guys, our relievers giving up the ghost. In the 8th inning, our number 1 guy, basically right now, Brian Abreu, who has been so solid through so many innings, throws a wild pitch. He lets some guys on base. Granted, one of those was not his fault. It was an error by Bryce Matthews. That run scored. That's not an earned run. That's Bryce Matthews' fault. Goodness gracious me. 11 hits for the Astros, 6 for the Submariners, and this game is tied 5-5. Top of the 9th. This is crunch time. Absolutely crunch time. Old dog 100%. If you're throwing the fastball, the high fastball, and they keep swinging and missing, why don't you just keep throwing it? Just keep throwing it. If they can't hit it, why would you change? I've seen that a lot of times where a pitcher comes in, he's got a batter at the plate, he throws a fastball, swing and a miss. Throws another fastball, swing and a miss. And then he throws a changeup, and it's a home run. Why? Why? I can understand. I can forgive a pitcher for throwing the right pitch and just not having the control over it or putting it in the wrong spot, because you can't be perfect every single time. But when your pitch selection is wrong, yes, I absolutely have a problem with that. I absolutely have a problem with that. If your high fastball is getting them to swing and miss, just keep throwing it. You're a reliever. It's not like you have to throw 90 pitches in the game. You know what I'm saying? Cam Smith is at the plate with nobody on. Lead off. Wow. Low and inside. If it got the zone, it was by a hair. Strike 1. The interestingness of the umpire continues. Here's the next pitch from Munoz. Wow, that could have been a strike on the outside edge, but it was called a ball. 1-1. One taken away, one given. Andres Munoz is on the mound for the Mariners. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball 2, 2-1. Andre Munoz. 2 balls, 1 strike to crank it up Cam. 1 for 4 today. Here's the pitch. He hits it up the middle. Is it going to get down? No, it's going to be playable by the right fielder. 1 away. Guys, we got about 90 people following the live stream right now. Thank you so much for being here. I will remind you that, number 1, I appreciate your likes. Number 2, I'm trying to get to 1K subscribers. I am looking for sponsors. If anybody knows some small businesses around the Houston area, that'd be perfect for me. I don't work because of medical conditions, so I appreciate your support. Christian Walker is at the plate, takes that first pitch and swings, misses. 98 miles an hour on the inside. Strike 1. Next pitch is on the way, in the dirt, ball 1, 1-1. I do take donations, of course, but what I'm trying to do is build out, grow my channel so that I can just get some sponsorships, and then I don't have to bug you guys too much about memberships and donations. Here's the pitch, up and in, ball 2, good take. 2-1 to Walker with 1 out, nobody on. If Walker got a home run right here, old dog, he'd be the MVP of the game, wouldn't he? Here's the pitch. He bounces it foul down the third base side. That's strike 2, and the count is even. Travis, you're right. I've been a fan since I was a kid. I mean, I was born in 75. So by the time I was 5 years old, I was already into watching the Astros. And it's been difficult. It's been a really difficult road to be an Astros fan. It really has. Low and outside, good take, full count. I'm not joking. There are some teams in the MLB that are just heartbreaks, right? Where they give you hope and they just keep dashing your hopes. And for a long time, it was difficult to be an Astros fan. Low and outside, ball 4. We have ourselves a base runner. Christian Walker draws the walk. Christian Walker lives up to his name. But yeah, but for a long time, for sure, it was difficult to be an Astros fan, and sometimes it was almost even easy to forget about them. But man, they always gave us some hope here and there and just got dashed so many times. Yiner with the very first pitch, swing and a miss. That slider went way outside. You know that he's going to throw it to you, right? Why would you swing? If you know it's going to be out there, then just don't swing. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. That one's in there. Fouled off. 0-2. Walker is on first base here in the top of the 9th with 1 out. The go-ahead run at first base. Yiner Diaz at the plate with an 0-2 count, facing Andre Munoz. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. High, ball 1, 1-2. Oh my gosh, the Expos. I haven't heard that name in so long, old dog. Oh my gosh, the Expos. Talk about a throwback. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. High again, 99 miles an hour. 2 back-to-back heaters way up out of the zone, but not close enough to be competitive. The count is even now. Come on, Yiner. I believe in you. Here's the pitch. Fouled off at the plate. Why did the crowd cheer at that? Count remains 2-2. He fouls it off and the crowd cheers. They are easy to please. It's funny because when I was a baby, I grew up in Houston for like the first 7 or 8 years of my life. Here's the next pitch. And of course, he throws the slider way outside of the strike zone, and Yiner chases it to strike out. Guys, take a look at it. Yiner doing classic Yiner things. 2 outs. 100 people following the live stream. Chas McCormick back up at the plate. 0 for 4 today. Is this his time? Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on the foul tip. Strike 1. This is Chaz's first game back for the Astros after his rehabilitation in the minors. He calls timeout, steps out of the box. He's got the 0-1 count with a runner on first. I guess you could say the go-ahead run. It's not yet the winning run, but the go-ahead run is at first base with Walker. 2 outs. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Munoz. Swing and a miss, 98 miles an hour, way up high. Yiner was laying off of those. Yiner has no problem laying off the really high fastballs, but throw it way outside and low. So far outside it goes to first base. Yiner will swing. Here's the pitch. Whoa, almost hit him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But it's funny, I just naturally liked the Astros because I was in Houston, but my brother went totally outside of Houston. He didn't like any of the Houston teams. In the dirt and outside, ball 2. 2-2. Same thing that Yiner did. First 2 pitches were strikes, and then Munoz came back with 2 pitches outside the zone. Actually, his 2 pitches to Yiner were above the zone, but still outside the strike zone, that is. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to the Tasmanian Devil. Strike 3. And Walker was stealing, but it doesn't matter. He was caught, but it doesn't matter. It would have been a double play. Strikeout. Nothing for the Astros in the 9th. We get a runner on. Christian Walker walks. So he at least gave the Astros an opportunity to move him around, but they don't. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Mariners are going to have a chance to walk it off. Hader was warming up in the bullpen, so it looks like they'll bring him in. We'll see if he's back to form. Proper form, that is. In just a moment. Jerry Park? The Expos played in Jerry Park? What kind of a name is that? 1 second, guys. I'm going to go in here right quick. And I'll be right back. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Geaux Stros. All right, I am back. It has become quite dark in Seattle. Josh Hader is on the mound for the Astros. He is facing Cole Young. First pitch is right in there. 84-mile-per-hour slider, strike 1. Let's do this thing. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt. 0-2. Man, that lady is still out there digging around in my storage shed. I don't know what all she's grabbing out of there. But I didn't give her permission to go grabbing in the attic of my storage shed, so I'm kind of nervous about what she's grabbing. Here's the pitch. Way high, ball 1, 1-2. Oh my gosh, Travis. Baskin Robbins and the tiny baseball helmets, man. We used to do that at my minor league team in Shreveport when I was living in Shreveport. Check swing, they say he didn't go around. Ball 2, the count is even against Cole Young. But yeah, man, I used to collect those, the minor league games in Shreveport when they had the Shreveport Captains. They had all the ML route number 1. One away. J.P. Crawford at the plate with 1 out, nobody on. Swing and a miss. High fastball. Good toss. 96 miles an hour, just a couple inches above the zone. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Woo! Just barely missed that upper outer corner. Ball 1. 1-1 is the count. I used to have a stack of those helmets, Travis. Up and in. Ball 2. 2-1. I tried forever until I finally got an Astros helmet. I was so happy about that. But I also had an Expos helmet. I did. Too far inside. Ball 3. 3-1 to Crawford. Raj says Tom Brady was the last player ever drafted by the Expos. Oh man, high. Ball 4. A 5-pitch walk to JP. I almost said TJ. Why did I say TJ? JP Crawford. Julio Rodriguez comes to the plate. 3 for 6 in his career versus Josh Hader. How about a double play to end the inning right here? That'd be great. That'd be a great way for us to go into the 10th. Here's the pitch. Right in there. 96 miles an hour, strike 1. Jordan says, I left Houston when I was 13, hitchhiked across the country for 13 years, ended up in Seattle for 30 years, and I'm an Astros fan. Go figure. That's funny. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Strike 2. 0-2. 0-2 against Julio. Jordan, that's kind of funny. Probably following the Astros primarily because of Altuve. I can believe it. Such a great guy. Here's the pitch. 0-2 in the dirt. What in the world? What a great catch. How did Caratini catch that? That ball bounced in front of the plate, and he slid over and caught it. Look at this catch. Boom. Runner stays at first. That ball was like 2 feet in front of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rodriguez. Here's the plate from here's the pitch rather. The plate. Hader goes to second. Double play? No, it's too late. Almost a double play. Terrible throw to second by Hader. Absolutely terrible throw to second by Hader. Look at this terrible throw, but a great catch at second base by Bryce Young to scoop it up. We don't get the double play, but man, thanks to Bryce Young on that play, Bryce Young doesn't make the easy play, but the hard play, he makes it. It's kind of crazy. Here's the pitch. Next pitch to Cal Raleigh. Swing and a miss. Raleigh with a runner on first and 2 outs. Could have had the double play there. We got a better throw from Hader. Maybe. 0-1 is the count to Raleigh. Here's the pitch. Line drive caught by Dubon. A rip by Kyle Raleigh down the line right into Dubon's glove. Look at that. He puts it away like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. A line drive shot right down the line by Kyle Raleigh. Man, the Astros continue to own the top of this batting order. Holy freaking cow. We go into the 10th, guys. Astros get out of it. Mauricio Dubon, who just made that play, rushes straight into the dugout. He'll be the first batter up in the 10th inning. Yeah, Biggio was awesome. Yeah, I liked Biggio. I mean, Bagwell was good. But I just like Biggio so much better than Bagwell. But Altuve, just the best of all time. He's just all around the best guy. Fred, you remember the Shreveport Captains? Yep. Their games were so cheap to go to. It was so easy to go to see their games. I loved it. So we were able to go there a lot. And the ice cream was very cheap. I even got I even took my daughter there when she was little. They even had some games there when my daughter was little. And I got her a foul ball. The one time I finally got a foul ball at a Shreveport Captains game, I had my daughter there, and I was able to grab it for her and give it to her. I thought that was awesome. The only time that she and I ever got to go to a baseball game together before her mom took her away from me. And I was able to get her a foul ball. Good times. Good times. At least those moments were good. Those moments were memorable. Jordan, I have a bobblehead, but it's an anime bobblehead. I have a few from some different anime. Just for those of you who are interested, once I get to 1,000 subscribers and I have my giveaway, I will put a bobblehead in the box, an anime bobblehead. So, Jordan, if for some reason you win, you'll have yourself an anime bobblehead. I also have a bobblehead that has like a solar powered panel on it, and it collects power from the sun, of course, and it always bobbles and shakes, even if the environment is not shaking. Dubon, and it bounced off his glove. How about that? Dubon with a leadoff hit in the 10th inning with the Altuve-style trickery. Bryce Matthews at the plate. Still waiting for him to deliver that big hit that he deserves in this game. He shows bunt, pulls back. Ball one. He pulls back. I didn't get an Altuve jersey until just a couple of weeks ago. My first one ever. I've been wanting one for years. It's this one I'm wearing right now. Just got it because of this channel and you guys. Dubon goes to second. And Altuve goes to third. No, wait, that's not Altuve. Who? I thought Altuve was on third, but that's not Altuve. Zach Short is not going to hit. Taylor Trammell is coming in as the pinch hitter. I guess they want the lefty. Runners on second and third with one out, guys. McCormick is on third base. Here's the pitch. He fouls the first pitch back for strike one. Chaz McCormick on third. Mauricio Dubon on second. We have 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out here in the top of the 10th. Taylor Trammell at the bat and Altuve on deck. Outside, good take. 1-1. Yeah, that's right, DeLion. Chaz is on third. They weren't showing it. I didn't know who was on third. I had to look it up. I didn't know. Here comes the pitch. Trammell takes that one up and out. Ball 2. Suddenly my volume went down. I was trying to figure out why. It's because I accidentally turned it down on my controller. 2 balls and 1 strike to Trammell. Come on, Trammell. Right center field gap. Here's the pitch. Way outside and high again. Ball 3, 3-1. Travis, I want to get a bobblehead from one of the Astros games. I haven't even been to a game in Daikin Park. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? They say he went. That would have been ball 4. Full count. Thanks, guys, for the likes. If you're listening in and you haven't subscribed and you are a fan of the Astros, please do so. I do appreciate that very much. As the channel grows, it assures more and more that I'm able to keep doing this. Here's the full count pitch. 6-5, the Astros take the lead. So Trammell comes through with the sacrifice fly to center field. Good job, Taylor Trammell. Altuve comes to the plate with runner in scoring position at second base. 2 outs. He's the man. 3 for 5 tonight with a double, a couple of singles. Come on, silence this crowd. Shut them up. 98 high. High and inside. Ball 1. Come on. Come on, Tuve. You can do it. Here's the pitch. Way outside. Man, he's too scared to throw to Altuve right now. I don't blame him. 2 balls and no strikes. And now they're going to intentionally walk him. They're not even going to pitch to Altuve. He tries a couple. It didn't look like they wanted to pitch to him, and now it's obvious. Altuve goes to first base. Now we have runners on first and second with Victor Caratini, the Batman, at the plate. And they're going to have a little meeting on the mound with the pitching coach. Come on, guys. For those of you who are members now, you can put the Batman emoji in there. Come on, Batman. Batman, Batman. 12 hits now for the Astros, 6 runs on the board. They're leading by 1 here in the 10th. They got 2 runners on, first and second, with Victor Caratini at the plate facing Matt Brash. Here comes the pitch. Checks his swing on the first pitch inside, and they say he did not go. That's ball 1. Three for 4 today. This could be his first 4-hit game with the Astros if he's able to get one. He takes that one for strike 1. The count is even. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Too far inside. Good movement on that slider, but Caratini doesn't fall for it. Come on, Batman. You can do it. It's high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Altuve out first. Dubon on second. Here's a pitch. That's down. He looked disgusted that he wasn't getting a pitch to swing at. Bases loaded for Cam Smith, guys. Cam Smith, our 2025 best hitter with runners in scoring position. Can you guys believe that Cam Smith could get a grand slam right here? How awesome would that be? Here comes the first pitch. It's high. Another ball. Brash just throwing balls like crazy right now. 1-0 is the count. Crank it up, Cam. Now is the time. Destroy this crowd. Here comes the pitch. Too low. Ball 2. Almost said ball 4. Now Raleigh's going to come out and say, hey, man, what's going on? Can you actually throw a strike right now? Are you just scared? Are you scared, bro? If you're scared, just say you're scared. We're all scared, son. All right. I think we're ready to go. I think we're ready for another pitch. The count is 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs and bases juiced for crank it up Cam Smith. Here comes a pitch from Brash. 85 right in the bottom of the zone for strike 1. He took that one right down the gut. Raleigh calls timeout. Well, what is he doing? That's a weird way to call timeout. He comes out there and put his glove on Cam Smith. You know, I don't think you can really do that when you call timeout. You can't go touching the batter. 85 right in the zone, swing and a miss. But Cam Smith did not commit to that one. If he had kept his head down and stayed in there, but he came out of the box. He was coming away from the ball when he was swinging. It was not a good swing. He can do better. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside. Strikeout. Cam Smith not looking good on that at bat. At first, he was taking some good pitches, which is fine. But those 2 pitches right there that he struck out on, he didn't stay in there. He didn't stay in the box and swing through the ball. He came out and swung out. And that outside pitch destroyed him. He destroyed himself. But the Astros do get 1 run on the board and take the lead. Will it be enough? We'll see. You guys want to take bets whether or not Josh Hader is still in the game? He has 16 pitches right now. My guess is that he will still be in the game. That's my guess. 'Tis my guess, it is. It's 2:10 p.m. here in Japan. My friend said that he and his mom will probably be by sometime between 2 and 5. I haven't received any message from him, so I'm going to message him right now. Hey, bro, we've got some extra innings going on, so the game is still continuing. I just wanted to check in right quick and see where you were at. If you have any ETA when you might be coming by. I just wanted to let you know if for some reason you come by in the next few minutes and the game is still going. The Astros did just take a lead, so that's good. But in case you come in the back door or come around looking for me, I will be inside, and just let me know you're here and call out, and I will be with you as soon as I can. But anyway, you guys be safe. There we go. Just send him a message on Facebook Messenger. Let's see here. I still hear somebody outside. I'm pretty sure it's that lady digging around for metal. Josh Hader is still on the mound for the Astros. Randy Arozarena is at the plate. First pitch is low and inside. Runner on second. Who is the base runner? Still don't know. They're not showing the base runner. 1 ball, no strikes to Arozarena. Here's the next pitch. Nope. Hader comes off and fakes a throw to second. Next pitch is a little low. Ball 2. Trammell is now out there in left field for the Astros. 5 more likes to get to 70. If you guys haven't liked the live stream already. That next pitch by Hader is up high. Ball 3. 3 straight balls by Hader. Nothing close. Hey DeLion, do you want Montero back? Can you imagine bringing in Montero right now? I'd be so scared. Here's the pitch. Right on the inside corner. Arozarena thought it was ball 4, but it was called strike 1. Could have been called either way, but the way this umpire is calling, you never know. Flip a coin. Fling! Tails. Oh, strike! 3-1 pitch on the way. That's low and fouled away. The count is now full. Yeah, Juan, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. A lot of people don't realize that Mickey Mantle was even playing at that time. It's pretty crazy that the Astrodome is that old, right? Hader fakes the throw to second base. Okay, it's Cal Raleigh that's on second base. Not the fastest guy, so that's good. Here comes the full count pitch. And he throws it way too high. Not even competitive. That was over a foot above the zone. He walks Arozarena. Now we have 2 runners on with no outs. The good news is the double play is on the table. Heck, the triple play is on the table. I'm still waiting for that. One of these days, guys, I'm going to see a triple play. I'm going to see an Astros triple play one of these days. Polanco's at the plate. Here's the pitch. He bunts. It's in the air, and they can't catch it. But he throws it over to first base for the out. Runners will advance to second and third. Holy cow, that was close. Matthews is now playing. Bryce Matthews is now playing on third base. He came charging in and almost played it. Almost was able to catch it. Luckily, he was able to play the hop and make the throw to first. That was close. 1 away, runners on second and third. Holy cow. Dylan Moore is at the plate. First pitch on the way. Check swing, and he went around. That's strike 1. Didn't really matter. That was in the bottom of the zone. That was a strike either way. 0-1 is the count. Bottom of the 10th, the Astros trying to put this one away. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. 96 miles an hour on the inside. 0-2 is the count. Dylan wants more of those. Here's the pitch. Fastball was just a little high. 1-2. Travis says, some people don't realize that Biggio and Bagwell played in the Astrodome, so I'm not that surprised. Yeah, some on the front end like Mantle, and some on the back end like Bagwell and Biggio. Here's the... I don't even know what's happening here. There was a swing. The Astros are going to challenge this because the ball came in. Dylan Moore swung the bat. Dylan Moore swung the bat, and he acted like it hit his hand. Runner scores to tie the game. Let's take a look at the replay so you can see what happened. The ball was in. He was bringing the bat around. It hit off the end of the bat. Houston is challenging, saying it was hit by pitch. They're going to say it's a hit. Too long on the preview there. Got to cut it off. They're going to say it's a hit to the infield. Hader couldn't field it cleanly. Couldn't go home for the out. Runner scores. He throws to first to get the out for the second out. The problem there was that Hader did not field the ball properly, and he had plenty of time to go home and throw it to Caratini. The call in the field stands. Houston loses their challenge. The call on the play stands. The runner was not hit by pitch. The runner scores. It looked like there might have been some interference, but they didn't call it. But the problem is Hader didn't field the ball properly, so they didn't even have a chance to call interference by the batter because Hader didn't field the ball properly. If Hader had fielded the ball properly and tried to go home, then they could have called interference for sure. For sure. But Hader fumbled the ball. Here's the next pitch to the next batter, strike one. Dominic Canzone is at the plate. Game is tied. We're going to go into 11 innings at least, assuming that the Astros can shut this down. We have a runner on second with 2 outs. Here's the 0-1 pitch. In the dirt. Ball 1. 1-1. The Astros were hoping they could get a hit by pitch on that call. But they lose their challenge. They say it was a hit. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Canzone. So Hader actually gives up a run, but not because of a real hit, but because he couldn't field the ball properly. Just a little tapper back to the mound. He got so anxious. It kind of reminded me of Christian Walker. When he gets into a position like that where he has to think quickly and there's some stress, he tends to mess up. That's what Hader did there. 30 pitches now for Josh Hader. Runner on third. He has taken third base. No throw. Here comes the next pitch. Hit at the plate. They say it's a foul ball. Caratini wisely picked it up and tagged him, but they call it foul. It didn't get out of the batter's box. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good question, Travis. Who are they going to put on the mound? Here comes the pitch. Fouled back. Count remains 1-2. 31 pitches. 32 pitches now for Hader. Man, he's getting up there. He tossed 16 in the last inning and 16 in this inning. This will be the 17th. Here comes the 1-2. Low and outside. Count is 2-2. What in the world is going on with this game? Can't just end it smoothly, right? We get ahead and then tie. And we get ahead again and tie. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Outside and low. Full count. Come on, Hater. Don't extend the inning. And by the way, there's nobody warming up right now in the bullpen for the Astros. They're just letting Hater go. Goodness gracious. But he tried to get it. He goes down swinging. Christian Walker, I believe, is due up at the plate in just a moment at the top of the 11th. This game is tied again, 6-6. Good grief, guys. What is going on? Let's see if I got a message here. I have not gotten a reply from my friends, so I don't know where they are. I don't know how close they are. We'll see. Michael, is that you? Okay, I sent you a message. How long have you been here? I'll be right back, guys. 5 minutes? Oh. 2 minutes. Okay. Is your mom here too? Okay. I got a chair, another chair right here. If you want to pull it out and sit. The game was in extra innings. Astros got ahead, and then they just gave up another run. So now it's tied up again, going to the 11th inning. But yeah, is it okay out there? Is it cool enough? Okay. Yeah. Hopefully this will be it. We'll hope so. I apologize. Yeah, I mean the extra innings don't happen very often, but it would happen whenever you come by. So, yeah, they're about to hit right now, so hopefully, yeah, I'll be back out in just a minute. Fingers crossed. Yeah, and also if you wouldn't mind, take a look at some of the stuff that she's taking. If it's obviously scrap and junk, she can have it. But she went up into the attic. I didn't give her permission to go up there. But if you see anything that's like valuable that you think I could keep, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. All right, guys. The count is 0-1 on Christian Walker. A guy on second base. Who's on second? That's a swing and a miss. 0-2 just like that to Walker. Buildup is on the mound. Next pitch is a swing and a miss. Walker strikes out. So Walker was doing so good, and then he goes right back to striking out when we need runs. Should have just had him bunt. Why didn't they have Walker bunt? That would have been best. That would have been best. Yainer Diaz is 1 for 5. He's got a single today. Now's the time to turn it around, that's for sure. Here comes the first pitch from Buildup. Fouls it off, strike one. Who's on second base? Can't see. Let's see if I can read it on here. Cam Smith. That's a good runner to have on. Got a speedster on base. A single would score him. That's all we need, Yainer, is a single. You can do that. Opposite field single. Do it, do it, do it. Buildup steps off the rubber. Disengagement. One away. Cam Smith on second. Yainer Diaz at the plate. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. Yeah, Travis. Every time. That'd be funny. Even with 2 outs and runner on first, bunt. Here's the next pitch. Yainer goes to the right side, opposite field. It's going to be a ground out, but he does move Cam over to third. Huh? What? What? Cam Smith did not go over to third. Cam Smith stayed on second, guys. Can you believe that? Yainer Diaz hit it to the first base side, grounded out, but Cam Smith did not move from second base. Why? Was that Cam Smith or Paris Chica? I have no idea. And for some reason, we have Cooper Hummel coming in. It looks like the Astros have given up on this game. Chas McCormick is out. Cooper Hummel is in. I guess they want the left-handed bat. If he can do it, I'll be happy. 2 outs. Runner on second. Camp's still on second base. First one in the bottom of the zone, strike one. You know, it's pretty messed up when you know for sure that Cam Smith can easily just take third base. And he doesn't. He doesn't do it. I don't understand that. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Bizzardo. Hummel fouls it off. 0-2. Why do they put Cam on second base? I think it's because they have to. They have to. Because it's extra innings. And that's the runner they had to put on. Here's the pitch. Hummel strikes out. So the Astros do nothing. It looks like the Astros don't want to win in the 11th inning. They put up a good fight in the 6th and in the 10th. And then just give up in the 11th. So we go to the bottom of the 11th. Mariners with a good chance to walk it off. Who is going to be pitching for the Astros in the 11th is a good question. It's a good question. No, Fred, I know that the ball was hit kind of hard, but he still had the chance to go. He still had the chance to go. Even the Astros announcers were confused at that, because if he had been running on contact, he would have had the ability to get over there. Yeah, I think they didn't have Walker bunt. When Walker came up, he should have bunted. He was the leadoff batter. He should have bunted. And they didn't have him bunt. They let him swing. He struck out. He strikes out a third of the time. Terrible decision. And with 1 out, another terrible decision. It's Yainer hits it to the right side. Cam Smith doesn't advance. 2 outs. And then another strikeout with a pinch hit. Cooper Hummel? Really? For Chas McCormick? Bad decision, bad decision, bad decision. Nothing but bad decisions in the 11th inning. The Astros look like they just gave up. Hector Neris is on the mound. He'll be the next pitcher. Not really surprised, but can't say I'm excited about it, but I'm not surprised. Let's hope we get classic Neris, not recent Neris. Come on, give us some power, Neris. All right. Well, Fred, it could have been a mistake by Cam, but I don't know if Paris Chica was holding him up or not. I have no way to know why he didn't go. So I can't speculate that it was him. Could have been Paris Chica at third base, the third base coach. Neris was having some issues with the pitch comm, but he says it's working now. All right. Runner on second base. Bottom of the 11th. Mastroboni at the plate. Lefty against the righty Neris. He shows bunt. So the Mariners are thinking bunt right off the bat. Outside for ball 1. Mastroboni is pinch hitting for Williamson, the third baseman. Oh, here comes the pitch. Shows bunt again, up and out, ball 2. Astros worked so hard and they did so much to get to the extra innings here, and then they just shut it down in the 11th. I don't understand the choices there, but whatever. This is bunted down the third base side. That's going to get the job done. Altuve is over on first base to cover. They get the out at first. Not a great throw by Matthews, but he gets the job done. One away. But it moves the runner over. So that's what the Astros should have done with Walker. Bunt the ball, move the runner over. Cole Young at the plate, over 3 today with a walk. The 9th batter in the lineup, batting .252 for the season. Here's the first pitch from Neris. A little below the zone, ball 1. Do you guys want to bet if they give up the game right here or not? We'll see. Here's the pitch. Fouled off? No, he missed it. Swing and a miss, strike 1. The count is even. Here comes a 1-1 pitch from Neris. Swing and a miss right in there. 92 on the outside edge. Good pitch. 1-2. Larry, they didn't give up. They're just making bad choices, that's all. This is hit high in the air. Is it playable? No, it's going to be out of play. Count remains 1-2. Here comes a 1-2. Hector Neris, the Astros lose this game. I was kind of expecting it, and it came true. 7-6, they lose. They've now lost this series. The first 2 games they drop. They should have won this one. Tomorrow they'll just have to salvage 1 game if possible. Really quickly, let's take a look at the scoring summary. As usual, I'm not going to spend much time on it since the Astros did not pull it out. Let's take a look. Second inning, bottom of the second, the Mariners scored. Williamson grounded out to the pitcher. Polanco scored, 1-0. Top of the third, Cam Smith singled, scoring short, 1-1. In the bottom of the third, the Mariners picked up a couple of runs. Raleigh singled to right. Canzone doubled to center field, and that was it. You can come in if you want. Yeah, keep the tools. Yeah, definitely don't want stuff like that. Thank you for asking. I have no reason to give away tools. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm almost done now. The game's over, so I'll be out in just a second. My friend Michael's out there checking to make sure she's not taking valuable stuff from me, all that metal that she's taking. Canzone's doubled to center in the third, put the Mariners up 4-1. But the Astros started coming back in the 5th. The top of the 5th, Walker singled, scoring Altuve 2-4. Altuve singled to left in the top of the 6th, scoring Matthews 3-4. They were mounting their comeback. Top of the 6th, Caratini singled, scoring scoring short, tied up the game 4-4. Walker singled right after that, scoring Altuve. The Astros took the lead finally, 5-4. But Arozarena scored on a wild pitch once again from the relievers blowing the game just like they have been doing recently. That's been my biggest beef, is the relievers blowing it for the Astros. But 5-5 in the 8th inning. It went into extra innings. Trammell gave the Astros the lead again with a sacrifice fly, scoring McCormick 6-5. But in the 10th inning, once again, Our relief pitchers, Josh Hader, couldn't handle a simple ground ball. Raleigh scored, tying the game, and then the Astros made several bad decisions for some reason. Have no idea why. They let Walker swing instead of bunt. Cam Smith didn't run to third when he had the opportunity. He didn't move up. And then the Astros got nothing in the 11th, and that set the stage for the Mariners to get the walk-off in the 11th. So 7-6, the Mariners win. The game tomorrow, let's see if Fromber is still scheduled to pitch. No, that's right. They changed it to Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown is going to be on the mound for the Astros tomorrow, facing Brian Wu. That game starts in the afternoon. It's a 5 a.m. game for me. I'll be on here live streaming at 5 a.m. And I'm sorry about the loss today. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm just the messenger. So don't shoot me. I really do appreciate all of you being here today. I've got to run. My friend and his mom are out there, and I don't want them to wait any longer than they need to. I appreciate you. All that's left to say, as usual, is Geaux Stros, and let's try to salvage a game tomorrow. Thank you again so much. I'll come back and check out your comments later, and I've got some more posts to make. Until tomorrow,